Welcome, Adventurers. This is GM Alexander7777, and welcome. Today we're going to be playing more of Sir Brante, like last time we did part 3, and today we're going to start peacetime, aka the hardest part of the game, and more of the and most of the story happens in this chapter. So yeah, we have done a lot of good stuff on the game, and so far things are looking up. So we're going to start the game and see how things go. Okay. Then let's change to recording here, and everything should be working out. Alright, so this pretty much this game pretty much it's a narrative RPG as they describe it on Steam, but it's kind of like a pretty hardcore visual novel in a book style kind of on a book style kind of thing, and it looks pretty cool. So yes. Okay, I should not. Okay, I should be on peacetime. All right, we read. I'm pretty sure we read this before on the chapter. Yeah, we already did all this. These are our stats. Let's see our stats again. You know, we need more eloquence. Eloquence. Yeah, we need more of this, because this is kind of low. Yeah, okay.
A full adult now, I returned from the capital a changed man. Yet, my hometown was not the same as I had left it. Fate had difficult times in store for all of us.
Alright, let's start peacetime. The peacetime is really long, guys, so we're gonna be dividing this into two parts. The first part and the second part. You and Jeannie are returning to Anisode together. Yeah, we took the path of the priest on the last chapter. You listen to the spinning wheels of the carriage as he makes his way along the road. You see the land of Magrat through the window, empty, desiccated by ancient magic. You are at home, but you are no longer the boy who took this road to the capital 4 years ago. You are coming back a priest. Could your family ever have imagined that this would be the lot with which you would return? You will begin your service with the Inquisition in your home province. You will be reunited with your family soon. Alright, you're at home, but you are no longer the boy who set out for the capital 4 years ago. You are coming back a priest. Could your family ever have imagined that this would be the lot which you would return? You will begin your service with the Inquisition in your home province. The most important event that will end this chapter. Only one of them will happen. Alright, let's see what kind of events we can get, guys. Shadow of the Will. You follow Ulrich on the path of the will until the very end. We have to have 2 deaths or less. Is it supposed to be less than 2 deaths? I think it's supposed to be 2 deaths or less. We need to have Inquisition power and Master. Cassius faces the Tribunal. Inquisition 7-9, evidence against Cassius. Cassius overthrown. Alright, so Inquisition, tolerance of fate, evidence. All-powerful Ulrich, Inquisition power. Ulrich bent the cities to his will. Torch of the New Faith, or True Death. So we have to have like Inquisition or Tolerance of Fate really high, and we have to like get the other stuff, you know. So yeah. Outcomes of the Brante family. The most important events that may happen to the House of Brante at the end of this house. Ennobled by the sword. I'll be honest, guys, we're probably not gonna be able to be ennobled by the swords because of the fact that my reputation is so low. Favored by the overseer? Oh yeah, no. Heir of the family, noble by the sword, or the family falls apart. Okay, none of this stuff is gonna happen. I don't think so. Family. Events that can happen to the family in this chapter. A family of means. Then well. Cool. Mother recovers. Mother finds the strength to recover from a grave illness. We could probably do that. Robert adopts Glory and she becomes a full-fledged Brante, a family at peace. Yeah. You know what? Sure. Branded by dishonor. Brante name is dragged through the dirt, never to recover. Nah, that's fine. The family at peace. This is probably what we're gonna be doing. Thomas' new life. Thomas get exiled. You see Thomas of his new life, far from all the dangers and chaos. Evident occupation. Deeds that you can accomplish on your life path. Evidence against Cassius. You now have irrefutable evidence of Cassius' apostasy, the key to bring the Patriarch down. Right to defend the faith. The new believers now have the right to fight back to defend their beliefs. The Latari ritual. Join the Latari circle. Collapse of the Inquisition. The Inquisition loses authority and respect in this province. The order is now too weak to make Cassius face the tribunal. The new face persecuted. The new face faces ruthless persecution through Magra with no hope for reconciliation between the two doctrines. So if we don't want to have Inquisition power too, or tolerance of the faith too. We could still have it, but 2 or less is gonna hurt us. Occupation. Alright, let's okay. The air in this carriage is stuffed. Spiritual guidance. The air in this carriage is stuffy despite the blinds that shut out the sun. It will take time to get used to the heat again. The scorching days are followed by freezing nights, such is the desert in wintertime. Jean has changed drastically during her months away. You struggle to begin a conversation with her. In the end, she is the first to speak. It's time. It's time I told you of our mission in Anisote, Brother Alexandros. Then why has the Inquisition decided to assign 2 recent seminary graduates? The Inquisition considers me sufficiently prepared for this mission, and I vouch for you. The mission that awaits us will take a long time to complete. I need somebody reliable by my side. Magra has grown restless of late. The teachings of Fotis have taken root here. The local priests reject their duty. They tell their congregations to seek their lots within themselves. They claim the teachings of Saint Isatis are lies. Don't they see they're marching straight to the foot of the pillar and dragging their flock along with them? But that's not all. The church received an anonymous letter denouncing Cassius, the Patriarch of Magra, for enabling all manners of sects and heresies in the province and blasphemies against the gods. This report must be investigated, and should we find proof of his guilt, we are to remove Cassius from his post and defrock him. Okay? Needless to say, this will not be easy. Right now, the Magran Inquisition is weak, respected neither by the noble nor the clergy. Until they recognize our authority, they will be unlikely to obey us. Cassius has been patriarch since Fotis' demise 5 years ago. He was elected unanimously at the sacred conclave of Magra. He is beloved by his flock and respected by the clergy. We have therefore been strongly advised to investigate this matter in secret. We must restore the authority of the Inquisition. Then if Cassius is indeed guilty, we must find proof then. Then, and only then, may we accuse him openly. The tribunal hearing against Patriarch Junius the Man was a disgrace. What happened there must not be repeated in Magra. The church has entrusted Inquisitor Ulrich with this case. We are expected to assist in his investigation however we can and help protect Anisote against heresy. But I think we should be wary of him. Father Ulrich is a ruthless man and a zealous inquisitor. Overzealous at times. They say he has burned entire village to the ground for the sake of the true faith. Alright, he's Frollo. Yeah, this guy is Frollo from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Good to know. We will do our most to restore the authority of the Inquisition, but I fear Father Ulrich may be inclined to abuse this authority. Please, for our sake, be discreet around him. Nah, he's cool. Either way, our mission will not be simple, but we will restore order. Let us eradicate every seed of heresy here and support the weeds of this new faith. The city that has the silver tree must remain a symbol of true faith. Can I count on your support, Alexander? The new faith. Oh, we don't have the shield of the new faith. Sure. You know what? I'm down with that. You assure Jean that she has your full support. You are entirely on her side. Heresy will be dealt with. The Inquisition will grow stronger. The truth about Patriarch Cassius would be revealed. I'm glad to hear that, Alexandros. The city of Walls of Naisali finally appears on the horizon. Your service to the Inquisition promises to be difficult, but right now, you are going home. Nice! In the service of the Inquisition, year 138, you started your work as the Inquisitor of Magra. Oh yeah, let's check out our occupation, guys. This is like the new thing. Alright, Gaius Tempest, Cassius. Patriarch Cassius, okay. And the state of affairs, your workplace, how close are you to the goals that you are pursuing? And then we have 4 and 4. Dangerous position, alright, so Inquisitor power, tolerance of fates. The influence of the Inquisition in Province Magra determines your authority as an Inquisitor. Downfall of the Inquisition, dangerous position, the order strengthening, indisputable authority, or tyranny of the Inquisition. Reprisal against the... represents how many people... tolerance of faith represents how many people in the province accept new teachings about the twin gods. The higher this tolerance is, the harder it is for the Inquisition to suppress these teachings. Which is hard because we want the Inquisition to like win. Supposedly. But we'll have to like balance this out, I think. Reprisal against the new faith, persecution of the Zen, surveillance of faith, power of the new faith, religious riots. Alright, so getting to 10 on both of this is supposed to be like really difficult, and a lot of stuff will happen. So it's like they say it's bad to get to 0 and to get to 10. So that's like interesting. Homecoming. The carriage stops. The family gate. Your bedroom window. The same one you used to climb out of at night from time to time. The well-tended garden with his imported soil. Delightful greenery and mother's beloved pilot arises. The boards you used to jump off when you were little. You are home. You touch the handle of the front door and halt for a moment. It has been 4 years since you left for Eterna, but it feels like yesterday. The air inside is cool as usual. Father cannot stand a stuffy room and insists on constantly airing out the house. Nathan's shaggy head speaks out from behind the sitting room door. Your younger brother is the first to reach you, crying out with joy. He embraces you tightly. Nathan is now as tall as you are, and his hair almost reaches his shoulder, but he still has the same lost look in his eye he had when he was a boy. You're finally back, Alexandros. Home just hasn't been the same without you. And look, you're wearing a cassock. A true priest. I'll never be one, unfortunately. I didn't get into the seminary. He stares at the ground guiltily. You show him the prayer book you bought for him by the great temple of the twins back in the capital. May the light of the faith shine in your eyes forevermore, brother. Nathan clutches at the little prayer book and nods with gratitude. Mother walks out of the sitting room. Nathan runs to her and she leans to his arm as he leads her to you. Mother's back is bent, she has grown pale, and a thin well of wrinkles covers her face. She can barely stand unassisted. These are the troubling telltale signs of the illness your brother and sister mention in their letters from home. Slowly she embraces you. You press your face into her shoulder, breathing in the nearly forgotten, dearly beloved smell. Mother holds your shoulder and studies you for a long time. You've been away so long, my son, but it was all for good reason. I am so very proud you chose to follow the priestly lot. Never in my wildest dream did I think my own son would bring the twins' teachings to the war and save other men's souls. To think I held you in these arms not so long ago. Mother's arms are thinner now. They feel nearly weightless. Gloria walks up to you next. She is dressed in men's clothing, including culottes, a frock coat, and a necktie with a massive pin. She is almost unrecognizable in her new attire. There are dark circles under her eyes, a stuff from lack of sleep or frequent tears. Her first words to you are dripping with sarcasm. Well, hello there, my brother, the priest. Can't say I expected that. You'll be the one watching over our souls now, I suppose. You offer a composed response. You would always be ready to help Gloria if she finds herself in need of spiritual guidance. But you are not just a priest, you're also her brother. Gloria breaks into an involuntary smile. She finally lets her feelings show and embraces you. Loud footsteps echo down the stairs. Stefan appears. Your elder brother has grown taller and more broad-shouldered. You notice how harsh his feature has become. He looks even more like grandfather now. Stefan greets you politely with a solemn nod. Greetings, brother. It's a shame you returned with a cassock rather than a sword, but at least you weren't left a commoner like our youngest brother. You may not have earned a noble lot, but your cause is important to the Empire. The Brante family welcomes you. As he says the words, you hear the door to Father's office open. Father looks older. His back is hunched and he squints. There are deep lines around his mouth and silver threads in his dark hair and mustache. He stops a few steps away and examines you from head to toe. You meet his gaze. When I sent you off to the capital, I didn't expect you to return like this, but you have chosen your own path. I am saddened that you won't follow in my footsteps, but such is the will of the twins. I accept your decision. With a bit of hesitation, Father comes closer and pats you on the back. Well then, time for dinner. Your mother has prepared a variety feast for you. Okay, just checking the computer. For the first time in years, the entire family is together. You can finally spend some time with another member of your family today. Alright, find out how mother is doing. You're concerned about mother's health. You find what has happened in your sister's life. Chat with Nathan. You spend some time with your younger brother. Talk to Stefan. You decide to discuss business with your elder brother. How is her mother doing? Over dinner, you cautiously ask mother about her health. Oh, it's nothing, Alexandros. I have no complaints. I've just been a little weak lately. It happens at my age. I humbly accept whatever fate the twins have chosen for me. Having said this, she stops abruptly and looks upward. Father cuts in. You know, son, you should tell us about your life in the capital. Have you made any useful acquaintances? Our family could use some good connections right now. You mentioned in one of your letters that you've seen the Imperial family with your eyes. What are they like? The Tempest. You have to relate the 4 years you spent in Eterna. Only later that night While talking to Nathan on the back porch, do you learn more about Mother's health? I'll be frank with you. Mother isn't doing so well. Gloria and I do our best not to leave her alone. You can ask her questions, but her answers often don't make sense. And she keeps falling silent in the middle of a conversation like she did today. Her illness is consuming her. You know, if Mother passes, she may not be reborn. I dread to think what will become of Father then, and of Gloria. Gloria has had it hard too lately. Stefan has treated her like dirt for the last year. I think he plans to drive her out of the house so her origins won't taint the Brante reputation anymore. Stefan only cares about one thing now, getting our family ennobled by the sword. So for him, Gloria is just an obstacle between him and his goal. You spend quite some time in silence, gazing at the radiant stripe of the shining pillar as it grows more and more luminous against the darkening sky. The Brante family is about to face some challenging times. Alright guys, what is my stats with my family? Oh my god. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Reputation 3, will 4, and unity 5. Okay, so we really need to work on our house, you know. Alright, the sacred conclave. A spring has come. The nightly chill of the desert loses its vice. The daily heat dissipates in gentle rains. At the local Inquisition war, you are greeted only by dust, dirt, and silence. The building is completely abandoned. It takes both of you several weeks just to make it presentable again. Father Ulrich's yet to arrive. You and Jean have kept your arrival a secret, but you cannot wait any longer. Today is the day when Sacred Conclave must assemble in every province of the Empire. You will have to make your presence known to the brothers and sisters of the clergy and announce your mission to purge heresy and apostasy. During a sacred conclave, each province elects a patriarch to represent the faith for the next 8 years. In the old days, every man and woman of the flock had to attend to the conclave, but that tradition is long gone. Not only the clergy have a say. Conclave Day is sacred day indeed. On this day, the twins themselves descend and reside within the temples of the Empire. They bear witness to the chosen patriarchs of each province, the holiest among equals, the men who will speak to the gods themselves on behalf of their flock. Cassius assumed the patriarchate after the tragic death of Patriarch Fotis and has not been present to the twins yet. Nevertheless, there is no doubt Cassius will be elected by the clergy of Magra once again. The conclave is held at the temple by the Silver Tree. The last time you went there, you were just a little boy. You were struck by the tree even then, but now you gaze at it as though it were an old friend. As an Inquisitor, you no longer need to touch the tree to feel the life beating within. The square by the Silver Tree is rarely crowded, but today is packed. All 3 lots are represented here in an ample numbers. The noble repose in soft chairs in the shade of the tents. The clergy file into the temple one by one. The common folk swarm the square, pushing and shoving for a better view. You hear cries of joy, a hum of approval and applause. The common people do indeed favor Cassius. You and Jean have to push through the crowd to reach the temple doors. Not even Eterna had crowds this big. I thought we'd be trammed for sure. Before entering the temple, you place your hand on the trunk of the tree. It is remarkably warm. At least one thing is still the same. There are over 100 people in the temple. All the clergy of Magra are gathered here, from the abbots of the principal Magran temple to traveling preachers. Most wear the black robes of the old faith in the far corner of the hall. However, you see several priests of the new faith. Few in numbers and dressing white, they keep to the side. You and Jean sitting in the front row. The others eye you with curiosity and suspicion. You cast your names among the whispers that fill the temple. It seems your arrival was a secret to no one. There is so much fear in them. So much hatred. Do you think they're hiding something, or has something poisoned their minds against our order? The shearing of crowds, the shearing of the crowds runs out. Gene words. Patriarch Cassius is approaching, blessing the people around him as he crosses the square. The patriarch enters the temple. The doors are locked behind him. The clamor grows quietly. Cassius has a pleasant look about him. As sturdy middle-aged man, he greets people with a soft, peaceful smile. Thus gathers at the temple rise from the pews to greet the patriarch. The priests in white cassocks are the last to rise. One of them, a priest of considerable age, catches your attention. You are struck by his clean-shaved face and the uncannily sharp look on his eyes. The trim of his cassock is embroidered with gold, and his hands rest upon a long staff to help him stand. That is Father Leonard. He's been the habit of this temple for over 20 years. I remember him as a wise and kindly man, but my sorrow for him knows no measure now, for these teachings have clouded his mind. The patriarch greets the audience with a dignified bow, and everyone takes their seat. Cassius slowly ascends the stairs to the altar of the twins and kneels before their images. The words of his prayers echo to the temple. O heavenly lords, O givers of life, the younger defender of the war, judge and counselor, the elder, the spirit of truth and love, filling everything with his presence. We humble abide by your law, by the three laws of Isatis. May the righteous achieve eternal bliss, and may the sinners suffer retribution without mercy. In your sight, I heavily relinquish my authority as patriarch. May you allow your children to elect him who shall take my place. The air feels heavy, as tide is pressing down on you. The priest remains motionless, holding their breath. An incredible, all-consuming silence falls upon the room. In this silence, you hear the faint patter of footsteps across the temple. The moment slowly passes, the illusion fades. The air becomes light again. As staff taps against the title, the leader of the new faith approaches Cassius. We haven't seen their sign. The twins are within us now. I, Father Leonard, abode of the temple by the silver tree, decree the sacred conclave open. Father Cassius, would you please join the rest? With a smile, Cassius does so. And so the conclave of Magra must elect a patriarch to speak to the twins on behalf of our faith for the next 8 years to come. Speak the names of those who are worthy. Several dozen voices answer his calls all at once. Cassius! Cassius! Father Cassius! No other candidates mentioned. Father Leonard runs the bridge of his nose before he continues. So you have spoken the name of Father Cassius. I hear none other. Then let us begin the ceremony. The acolytes give every priest 2 stones, one black and one white. An enormous bow is brought to stand before the altar of the twins. Once the stones have filled the bow, Father Leonard begins to count them, dividing them into 2 piles on either side of the altar for all to see. I count 1 black stone for each new believer here. Does that mean that all the others trust him without reservation? Then let the will of the sacred conclave be done beneath the watchful eye of the twins. Father Cassius shall be our patriarch. He shall be our voice before the twins, and our mentor in this early realm. Cassius steps before the altar, the soft smile still on his face. Before the image of the twins, I accept my burden as patriarch of Magra. May the wisdom of the younger and the power of the elder grant me strength in the service. The priests rise from the pews once again to cheer for the new patriarch. Father Leonard raises a hand, calling for silence. Brothers and sisters, this conclave is concluded, but before we exit this temple to announce the name of the new patriarch to the people, we must first hear out the inquisitors who have come to our province. They will proclaim their mission so that each priest may relay their words to his or her parish. You and Jeannie take a step forward the altar, but an unexpected cracking sound startles those within the temple. The temple doors burst open, and an armed squad marches into the hall. Champions of faith, warriors of the Order of the Inquisition. They are led by Inquisitor Ulrich. He holds an edict sealed with 3 seals. Who dares violate the laws of the sacred concrete? The doors of this temple must remain closed until a new patriarch has been elected. The patriarch voice booms within the temple walls as though the twins themselves share his indignation. And yet Inquisitor Ulrich only raises his eyebrow in response. But Patriarch, the conclave has concluded, has it not? I am Inquisitor Ulrich. I have been sent by the order of the Inquisitor to push the last remnant of Charmillanides' legacy from your province. Anyone insolent enough to stand in my way shall be granted an ally of the heretics and sentenced to true death. Okay. You exchange a quick glance with Jean. Purging the dark legacy of Charmillanides from the province may be a trump-up excuse, but he grants an Inquisitor's incredible authority. Here in Magra, it's all too easy to tie anything and anyone to the rebellious Duke. There are 2 other Inquisitors present here. I want their voices to be heard, not just by the members of the conclave, but by the common people as well. The clergy of Magra often tend to ignore or orderly distort the will of the Inquisition. I am here to prevent this from happening. His words are met with indignant cries, but Father Ulrich remains still, his piercing gaze transfixing Cassius, waiting for an answer. The patriarch is perplexed at first, but he slowly begins to regain his composure as he recognizes the support he enjoys on that part of the clergy. You have no right to bring strife to this house of the twins. Magra never required the attention of the Inquisition when I was his patriarch, and nothing has changed. Our congregations face stronger than ever. The confidence in his voice grows. The other priests support him with shouts of encouragement. Inquisitor Ulrich takes several steps forward, Cassius. Those are powerful words, Patriarch. The Order of the Inquisition wants to determine whether or not they are true. If they are, we will leave Magra. Ulrich rest gestures for you to come closer. But I have interrupted your speech, Inquisitors. Come, make our intentions known. I am certain that people will give you their due attention now. Brother Alexandros, kindly address those who have gathered here today from the temple steps. All right. You address the gatherings with words of peace and reconciliation. Tolerance of faith +1. Jean -1. Father Leonard -. Alright. Accuse the Magrants. You address the gatherings with words of accusation. Absolutely. That the new, I do not like the new faith, and you stand on the step of the temple. The crowd watches your fate destroy. The clergy stares at you back, worried and alert. Is it as thought the entire city has gathered to hear you speak? You proclaim that the Inquisition has come to Magra because this province is a boundless field in need of weeding. You are here to weed out all heresies and sects, all apostles, mages, and witches. Those whose faith is weak should expect no mercy from you. You will uproot their false doctrines and burn their sinful bodies at the stake. You hear murmurs among the crowd. They expect to hear the name of the new patriarch, not a furious tirade. Patriarch Cassius steps from behind you. He raises his arms to the sky to quell the growing discontent. My friends, this Inquisitor is young and zealous. His words may be harsh, but his intentions are laudable and virtuous. The Order wishes to weed out heresy, such is their calling. But we all know that we are free of sin. There are neither witches nor apostles among us. And now, good Inquisitors, excuse me while I announce the conclusion of the conclave to my flock. You breathe a sigh of relief only when you return to the Inquisition War. Both Jean and Ulrich are clearly pleased with your speech. I was told to act as your mentor. The first thing I will tell you is this. Always remain just as resolute and steadfast as you were today. We are the servants of the twins. We are their shield, their sword of punishment. Remember this, and cast away all fear and indecision. Inquisitor Brante, you remind the sinners of Magra that retribution is inevitable. Every man and woman in this province should know that the Inquisition will pursue all heresy relentlessly. There is no punishment we cannot employ to crush the apostles. You two will handle the affairs of the Order while I investigate the Patriot schemes. Dismiss. Nice! I wanna get the Inquisition to 10, guys. I wanna get the Inquisition to 10, guys. I'm deciding that I really like the Inquisition. The clergy elected Cassius as the Patriarch of Magra. Yeah. So we have to like dethrone him or something because of the goals, right? A reception at the Brante residence. You come back home after a short stroll through the city. As soon as you set foot in the house, you are greeted by Stefan, who invites you to have a talk in Father in his office. When you enter the room, Father has a head of letters in front of him and is signing them one after the other. Stefan and I must discuss an important matter with you. While you were in the capital, our family formally petitioned the overseer to grant us the nobility of the sword. We have 3 generations of noble blood already. We have the right to make our nobility hereditary. Your grandfather took the first steps towards the nobility of the sword as soon as Stefan was born, and now we are on the brink of becoming T.L. Brantes. If Overseer Gaius Tempest and the nobles of the province deem us worthy, we will receive a heritage title. All nobles of the Brante family would remain noble forever, as will their descendants. Father and I do our utmost to maintain the family's position, but our goal can be reached only if our reputation remains unblemished in the eyes of high society. The nobility is watching our every step. Father lays a hand on your shoulder. Now this is your cause too. The future of our family depends on it. We need an estimate reputation and will. Everyone bearing the name of Brante affects. Remember that with every action you take, Alexandros. You will have to appear before an Isode high society. We're going to host a reception for the nobility at our home soon. You must uphold the honor of our family, brother. You'll relate the news of return to our guests and present yourself in a favorable light. With Stefan at the helm, the entire family spends a full week preparing for the majestic reception. The house is flooded with decorations and new tableware. Delicacies are cooking in the kitchen round the clock, and the napkins now bear an embroidered oak branching change. The Brante family's crest. Glory is the only one to neglect the common cause. Were it up to me, I wouldn't be seen at this hypocritical gathering, but I don't want to let Sir Robert down. He's the only reason I plan to stay for the event. The evening of the reception has come. Dignified conversations and the clinking of glass fill the house. Among your guests are many high-born, powerful people. Your father and Stefan dance from guest to guest, making sure no one is overlooked. Young Alexandros, how splendid to see you. So what was your time at the capital like? You exchanged pleasantry with high-placed relative. Meanwhile, Gloria and Mother spent the evening on a settle by the wall without drawing any attention. Neither your father nor your elder brother introduced them to the noble guests. Still, one of the guests, a young nobleman of the sword named Josiel Pelletier, keeps staring at Glory in fascination. Your sister averts her eyes, bemused. Lady Gloria, you are the true gem of the evening. You look so marvelously daring. I haven't seen your like in the capital. When you walk past Gloria, you hear her hurry whisper. Alexandros, please talk to me. This Sarah Pelletier keeps following me. I feel uneasy. What does he want from me? I'm just a lowly commoner. Come with me to the other side of the room. Although I'll probably still stand out among all these refined nobles. Look, it's Brante the painter. I wonder what brought him so far from the capital. It would be fabulous if he could paint our family portrait. We should all be on canvas together. We're one big happy family after all. Wine glass in hand. Wine glass in hand, you casually look across the crown room. It is time to choose how you will spend the evening. So he cannot do two. Oh my god. I'm sorry guys. Oh yeah, I didn't read the rest. The moment you approach the fan, he links elbows with you and leads you to the most prestigious place by the table, where the most eminent of the guests are seated. May I present to you my younger brother, Alexandros Brante. He's just returned from the capital. Alexandros, why don't you entertain our guests with the latest news from Eterna? I'm so sorry, guys. You make a courtly introduction and describe recent noteworthy events in the capital, the celebration of their coming of age, the attempt by Gaius Tempest to enshrine in law the rights of nobles of the Manta. Patriarch looks sermon. The nobles inquire about the custom and sentiments of the capital. It is true that the wealthy commoner of Eterna do not acknowledge the authority of the nobility, or that the adherents of the new faith openly denounce the laws. You describe the states of the affairs in the capital, in a delicate matter so as not to antagonize your guests. Yes, there are plenty of liberties taken in Eterna, but you can attest to the fact that the Empire will rule with a firm hand and maintains order. More and more listeners gather around you. They plunge into heated discussions. With this weight of channel reach our province, what awaits our homeland under the rules of the new overseer Gaius Tempest? The guests agree that the nobles of the province have some tough times ahead of them, but worthy family like the Brantes give them hope. Excellent, brother. You have shown yourself and our family in a favorite light. Moreover, you managed not to distress our guests with alarming news. The night was a success. Alright, we got some diplomacy and some manipulation, so not the worst. The Brante home has been uneasy for several months now. With father traveling all over the province for his juridical duties, the animosity between Stefan and Gloria has grown into a full-blown feud. Your elder brother tries to use his position as heir to keep his sister in check and make her behave in accordance with her state. Gloria repudiates his authority. Their fights rock the authority on a daily basis. Eventually, after returning from his latest trip, Father gathers Stefan, Gloria, Nathan, and you in his office. His somber look portends a difficult conversation. Stefan gazes at his father defiantly. Gloria is poised to lash out and run away. Nathan quietly keeps to his side. Children, for a long time now our family has been striving to become nobles of the sword. Even every noble member of the Brante family will gain a herited title. This is your grandfather's dying wish. Gloria lies loudly. Then why am I here, Sir Brante? She's right. This is a Brante matter. Wait until I finish, Stefan. I am still the head of this household. If you are truly so concerned about honor, show your father some respect. It can't be helped. Not all of us are noble, but now we must be united as never before. We must work together to protect the reputation and wealth of this family. But you, Stefan, perpetually humiliate Gloria. Father, all I'm trying to do is put her in her place. You know perfectly well the consequences of any attention Gloria might attract. Our every step is being observed. The nobles will make pariahs of our family for all eternity if they remember Gloria's filthy origins. And your reckless marriage to Lydia. Father turns red in rage, but with considerate effort he remains composed. That is so. Our grandfather did everything in his power to remedy your mistakes. Please, Father, don't repeat them. Gloria speaks up. I'm just trying to live, Sir Robert. But Stefan wants to lock me in a cage so nobody will ever lay eyes on me. That's not it at all. You are lowborn, but you don't live by your lot. You do whatever takes your fancy. You're constantly grumbling about the order of things. Did you know, Father, that she defies all provisions by continuing to write poetry? As far as you're concerned, anyone who contradicts you is an insurgent. When would you grasp the idea that you may not argue with a nobleman? I am the heir of this family, and my word is your law. Purple with rage, Father slammed his fist on the table. It is rest to see him so furious, but your elder brother and sister instantly fall silent. Frightened, Nathan shrinks into corner. Hold your tongues, both of you. Let Alexander speak. He has weakness, yours is quarrel. He should know best wish of you winning the right. This will make me lose unity. This will make me lose reputation. This will make me lose money. I would do this. Oh, I mean manipulation 12, I see. Or some friendship with Gloria. Alright, we're not gonna click it. We're only gonna read them. Gloria must stop bringing shame to your family by defying her lot. That's true. Stefan should give Gloria some respect. She's a member of this family. That's also true. Send Gloria to Valona. You persuade Gloria to go on a trip somewhere far away from Stefan. This will help them bury the hatchet. This would give me stats, which sadly I can't do. Appeal to Nathan. Your younger brother words will help you settle dispute. Unity, theology. Gloria doesn't like that. Stefan doesn't like that, but Nathan likes that. Alright, you know what? You two piss me off. I'm gonna appeal to my little brother. A rock and a hard place. To everyone's surprise, you turn to Nathan. He meets you with a quizzical gaze from under his unruly hair. You point out to Nathan that he has studied theology after all. According to the holy teachings, how should a brother and sister act? Nathan is embarrassed and replies reluctantly. Gloria refuses to accept her lot and live like a commoner. I understand her, but the gods will neither understand nor forgive her. Nathan is transfigured, his face lights up, and his voice is suddenly strong. You, Stefan, don't understand your lot completely either. Ruling does not mean being a tyrant. Ruling entails taking care of those beneath one's station. What? Are you trying to teach me how to live by my law, you dimwit? You side with Nathan. The prophet Isatis himself interprets the noble law as taking care of the other states. So if Stefan uses his powers to humiliate people who displease him, he's violating his law. That's right! Wasn't he the one who spoke to you about the nobleman's duty to protect his family when you were searching for Gloria in the far corners of Anisode all those years ago? Stefan frowns in displeasure but has no response. Next you turn to Gloria. The lowborn lot is suffering. Gloria must remember that. However unfairly Stefan may treat her, she ought to bear it with patience and humility. Your sister just preserved her lips in response. We all have to live by our laws. No mistakes are allowed. Isn't that right, Alexandros? You peer into the eyes of your younger brother. They are filled with a strange sorrow. What is he trying to say? Enough! I can handle my lot myself. Stefan marches sweetly at the office. Gloria follows him to the door. I hear it over and over again since I was a child. Suffering, patience, suffering, patience. So this is how I live, if it so pleases the noble Brante. After the conversation in your father's office, Stefan and Gloria stop fighting for a while. Your home is peaceful at last, or is this just the calm before the storm? I mean, I'm okay with that. We need... Alright, we're okay, first year has passed. We need more eloquence, my god. The Archduke and the Overseer. Two powerful lords have been struggling for power in Magra for over 2 years now. The new Overseer of the province, Gaius Tempest, cannot seem to reign to reign in the obstinate spirit of the Archduke Tarquinius Melanidas, unwillingly to accept that he's no longer the overseer of Magra. The Archduke still stubbornly continues to assert his right to rule the province. Most of the Magran gentry who swore allegiance to him generations ago remain loyal to him even now. Gaius Tempest has publicly demanded that the Archduke recognize the overseer's rule as legitimate. I am the voice and the will of the Emperor Uther II in the province of Magra. All lands, deeds, and titles notwithstanding, Archduke Minalines must obey his sovereign's will and heed his decree. I hereby extend to the Archduke an offer of peace. Should the Archduke cease his usurpation, his land deeds and titles shall remain his own. The Archduke's response to the overseer was openly defiant. Since the day of yore, the land of Magra has belonged to the Melanides dynasty. We are part of the empire, and we are the emperor's loyal servants. However, our dynasty will not stand for such intrusion upon our lawful rights and privilege. Never before has an archduke been stripped of his rights to represent the emperor's rule in his own province. So do not forget, Sir Overseer, that the highest noble families of Magra have sworn fealty to me alone. Neither the Archduke nor the Overseer will relent, but both are too powerful to readily dispose of. The blood between the two Archons has festered for too long, and the common people have begun to pay the price for their strife. A stripe of the Overseer's tax privilege, the Archduke Minalines has decided to impose his own levy upon the citizens and village of Magra. The commoners are now forced to pay taxes twice, first to the Overseer and then to the Archduke. Wow, that sucks. This double burden is too much for the common people of Magra to bear. Many have refused the second tax outright as lawless measure, but the Imperial Legion led by young Darius Sutton is ruthless, eagerly and without mercy. The Legion soldiers collect the Archduke due in cities and villages alike. Alright, the will of Magra is going down, the order and the power. A gift for the family. This last year has been an ordeal for your family. The pains taken to be ennobled by the sword, the close attention of the city aristocracy, the squabbles between Stefan and Gloria. Tonight, your preoccupied father has gathered the entire family around the table in the back of the yard. The sun has almost set, and there is a soft breeze, but instead of a meal in the open air, you are going to attend a family meeting. In the middle of the table, you see an open gilded box. It is full of jewels. Archduke Minalines himself has bestowed this gift upon us. It is a surprise indeed. I thought you all have had a right to know. Father unfolds the letter lying beside the box. Sir Robert Brante, I bestow this precious box upon you and your family as a symbol of the care which I treat the people of my province. Pray accept this gift, and remember with whom the loyalty of the true nobles of Magra lies. Archduke of Magra, Tarquinius of the Melanides. The family stares in amaze at the jewels sparkling in the last ray of sunshine. It's worth quite a fortune, but the Archduke is fully aware that I am on the side of the prefect, Alborn, Overseer Gaius Tempest. Could he really expect our loyalty to be brought so brazenly? On the other hand, the Archduke's not demanding anything of us, and our family has borne a lot of expenses recently. Father, no one is forcing you to side with Melanides. Who are we in comparison to the Archduke anyway? We must not anger him by refusing his gift. The jewels are certainly welcome. They are worthy of being shared with the best family of Anisode. They will pay their way to the nobility of the sword. Mother shakes her head gumply. Oh, Robert, I have a feeling this gets both sail. It may be an impendence on my part, but I do not want our family to be indebted to the Archduke. Certainly not. Accepting gifts from Milanitas, he's infamous for oppressing the commoners and robbing villages blind with his taxes. This isn't your decision, Gloria. It's a matter of our family's honor and reputation. Please don't start bickering again. Let Alexander say what he thinks we should do with this gift. You are the center of attention now. Your vote will be the deciding factors. Alright, so we cannot decline the gifts. Decline the gifts, sell the jewels. Alright. We need to have 11 diplomacy, we have 12. Stefan Brante more than 1. You accept the jewels from the Archduke. You and Stefan will give them away as gifts for the local nobility to gain their favor. That's 2 reputation, that's pretty good. Diplomacy and scheming. Decline the gift. Unity 2. We need to have Robert Brante 3's friendship with him, we don't. Unity 2, willpower and valor. That's also good. You accept the jewels from the Archduke in order to sell them for a good price. Honestly, let's get some reputation because of diplomacy and scheming. You agree with Stefan. A gift from the Archduke is not to be refused. It would be better to use it for a more important goal, obtaining the nobility of the sword. You and Stefan will determine when, how, and who to give the gift will be given. I'm inclined towards the same solution. Let it be so. I'll send a note to the Archduke expressing our humble gratitude, but I'll point out that I don't mean to change sides. I'll still serve my prefect and my overseer. Be careful, Father. The middle in his house is not to be trifled with, but the Archduke will have nothing to reproach with. Alexandros and I will pull the Jewess to get use. You and Stefan spend the next couple of weeks arranging meeting and attending receptions and feasts. You discover that you are on par with your brother in your understanding of the nobility of Anisote, including the relationship and their quirks, the generous gift and the refined manner of your brother, and you display before the aristocrats allow your family to rise in their esteem. There is but one disadvantage. You do not have a single coin tucked away in the family treasure. It doesn't matter. That reputation is really high. We might be able to be a noble by the swords, but it is really risky because we also want to save our mother from the illness. Bro, am I gonna be I think I'm gonna end up being a priest with no eloquence. Another winter has come to Magra. It has been almost a year since your return home. The Order has gradually been gaining power and influence in Anisote. The Inquisitor War is no longer as deserted as it was once. It is now filled with the hushed voices of your young Inquisitors and the heavy echoing footfalls of the Champions of Faith. You and Jean are only assigned cases of long importance. Inquisitor Ulrich has taken it upon himself to investigate all cases related to Patriarch Cassius personally. Rarely if ever does Ulrich ask the two of you for assistance, but today of all days unexpectedly he has requested a word with you. For the first time ever you visit his cell, a spacious yet aesthetically furnished room. Ulrich is sitting on a plain-looking stool behind a humble desk when you enter. A lash hangs on the walls across from you. There is a disturbing air about it. Inquisitor Alexandros, there is a certain special case I'd like to entrust to you. There is a society that exists in Anisote. They study the culture of the Latari, an ancient civilization that is long exists. This is a society only for nobles. Most of its members are young and carefree. You come from a noble family. You know their manners and their etiquette, which is why you will be going there. By the will of the twins, the parent of one such carefree young man have found a book on his possession. An odd book indeed, and they brought it here. He points at a book lying in his desk. The front of the metal-bound bound dumb bears and engraving petals of the Latari people. A translation by Master Newman, professor of the Imperial College. Upon his family's insistence, this noble, a young man by the noble of Arnold El Rancor, paid us a visit. He claimed he had done nothing wrong and insisted that the society meetings are just like any other noble's party. The only unusual thing about them is their theme. They read the poetry of an extinct civilization. They wear peculiar clothing. They hide their faces behind masks of gold, the same color as the skin of the Latari. But he let it slip that a certain mystery is about to take place at their next gathering. His explanation was quite incomprehensible, but the young El Rancor was very excited indeed. I convinced him to deny his invitation and mass to us. His code name is AL. The society has not gained much popularity just yet, but they must have a patron of considerable influence. What if Patriarch Cassius is the one behind it, and this society is what we have been warned about? One way or another, we must arrest the heretics and make Cassius space for allowing such a sect to exist. Your mission is to find what they're up to. You must act quickly before they learn that we have a Rancor. My squad of champions of faith will follow you. They will assist you in rounding up the apostles. You nod. At least you finally have an important case to investigate. You recall the history books you read and studied long ago. The Latari were an old civilization, an ancient race of magic wielders who worship false gods and even enjoy a brief alliances with the Empire. Around 200 years ago, the Latari disappeared from the face of the war, just like all the other lesser civilizations. Interesting. Father Ulrich presents you with a gilded mask. The society's meeting place is a noble mansion of the outskirts of Anisote. As you ride carriage to the Latari society, you lean back on the cushions and close your eyes. What do you know of this dead civilization? The most important thing you can remember is that the Latari believed that true existence was the product of their own will. They thought the world around them was an illusion, a dream of their own making. You cannot help but wince at the thought. The world was created by the will of the twins, not the will of mortal creatures. No wonder they read the war of the Latari. You meet with a small squad of the Champions of Fate in an alley near the mansion. The squad is led by one Captain David Agaronim, a grease-muscled swordsman hailing from Narnia. His natural grim face is made even more hideous by a number of battle scars. Good evening, Inquisitor Brante. We'll be right nearby. Give us a sign, and we'll come to your aid. The mansion is large but inconspicuous. You see noble carriage in the courtyard, many more than you have expected. The gatekeeper bow and open the gate as soon as they see you. It seems the mass is enough to convince them you belong inside. You are ushered into a dressing room of sorts. A change of clothes already awaits you. Inside it is unlike any garment you have ever seen. A square of flowing sparkling clothes with glass and cords to keep at his place. The servants help you into this bizarre guard. You cannot help but feel rather silly and uneasy dressed like this. But on your chest behind the costume rests the symbol of the twins, filling you with strength. The Champions of Fate away nearby, ready to come for your aid. You can do this. Next is a large hall. The windows are covered in black cloth to keep out in the fade. Look at this mask. Honestly, they look kind of interesting. Like, what you guys said? Those are some cool masks. What seems at first to be a strange performance is playing out before your very eyes. You hear droning, unfamiliar music coming seemingly from nowhere. People fill the hall dressed in flowing robes and delicate gilded masks with narrow slits for his eyes. The people stand and move unexpectedly, close to one another, their hands on each other's shoulders as they talk. You approach one of the groups hoping to overhear the subject of their conversation, and almost recoil when several arms reach you all at once, attempting to grasp you tenderly by the shoulder. Stealing yourself, you put a hand on another person's forearm. You do not remember the last time you allowed yourself to touch another human being. The masked people seem friendly and genial. No one appears surprised by your insecurity. They continue their conversation as they accept you into the circle. Their conversations are also quite of the ordinary. You hear unfamiliar names, names that could belong to legendary heroes of the Latari, or people here who have taken them as secret identities. You hear reference to books you do not know and the emotion these people felt while reading them. You listen as though in a dream. You hear several voices singing in a distant corner of the room. There are no lyrics to the song. Each voice maintains his own note. Together they form a tender, softly echoing melody. The circle of the people next to you, yours, beneath to move in strange slow dance. Their movements are unlike any dance you know. Their intertwined arms become an embrace, and the embrace then becomes intertwined arms yet again. You see golden faces moving all around, and you suddenly realize with perfect clarity that you are part of this dance too. You're one of them, one with them. You are more than you have ever been before. It is so alluring. It is true greatness. It is power, limitless, endless power. Your back is perfectly straight now. Your head held high, as though you have actually glimpsed another world through other eyes during the short time you have spent there. What other eyes? The eyes of a noble? The eyes of the Latari? The entire world is but the dream of the Latari. The symbol of the Latari grows very warm beneath your clothing. It clears your mind and helps you break free from delusion. You are here for a purpose. Without sound, you mouth a player. The younger, defender of the war. Aid me, so I may serve the defender. Bring order back into my soul. The elder, the spirit of true and love. Aid me, so I may bear thy word further. Fill my mind with purpose. You hear whispers of admiration all around you. An Arcanian woman of below average height clad in a long cloak, all in silver mask, descends into the stairs to the hall. Oh, Lady Octavia has something truly special for tonight, says a boy next to you. Octavia Milanidas, the daughter of the ex-patriarch. Interesting. And there she is, the secret patron of the Latari Society, Archduke Octavia Milanidas, the Archduke's own daughter, heiress to the province of Magra. She smiles at everyone gathered here, her pitch-black eyes surveilling the hall. The Latari were a great civilization with a wondrous and beautiful culture. Their disappearance from the war is an immense tragedy. Thank you all for coming. We have been united by a shared aspiration to understand the culture of the Latari. We have learned so much already, but the mystery of the circle of the Latari remains inaccessible to us. Today some of you shall aid me as we investigate this mystery. Please close your eyes and listen. The time is coming when what must be said when the thought becomes the war, when the war becomes the war. Okay, and at this hour we have come together to form this circle, to make our thoughts reality. The Latari made us with the war, with the war, and thus ourselves we shall make the word. Oh my god. Yeah, I need to pronounce right. Word. Thus spake the Latari. I'm sorry guys, I do have problems sometimes pronouncing certain words if they sound pretty similar because of the fact that English is my second language. Only that which is unchanged exists. Only that which is real is eternal. Motion is dead. All that changes is an illusion that makes not of awe. Thus spake the Latari. Spak. Only one thing in this world is unchanging. The Latari. The Latari is the word, for it is all that is real. Thus spake the Latari. As she speaks, Octavia moves elegantly through the crowd to the crowded hall. Her words enchant and mesmerize. The people in the hall are swaying, seemingly entranced. Octavia stops and whispers something to several chosen members. They walk away deep into this mansion. Octavia processes you as well. This close you can smell her perfume. Come with us, too. Hey, Al. The long hallway ends in a dark room. Octavia is the last to enter. Enter the circle, O chosen ones, and join hands. Direct your thoughts and feeling towards the circle center, towards me. Become one with me. Become one inside the circle. Become Latari. One of the people in the circle begins a droning melody. Others join in the song. Candles burn. They are strange ritualistic symbols inscribed on the floor. You look at them closer. They depict colorful intertwined dragons. A long, thin knife appears on Octavia's hand. The gods are merciful to us. The Latari, their chosen kin. They grant us the sacred laws. The one true fate resides the reign. We Latari were the first creations of immortal gods. The moon sees it all his comes across, yet none are equal of our cause. Death is our enemy no more, eternal foe of mortal life. Should it come closer than before, then neither run to it nor hide. The temple increased the song, becoming disjointed, chaotic, yet somehow orderly and right. The sacred symbol under your costume feels so hot, it burns your flesh. Something is happening, and it is offensive in the eyes of the twins. So heed the law of the Latori, one older than the very sky. He who walks shall prosper. He who shall sleep shall die. He who sleeps shall die. Okay. As she speaks these final words, Octavia Menelaus discards her clothes. She is naked, her beautiful body completely uncovered. The song reaches its climax. Those standing in the circle sway side to side, their eyes roll back. They are lost in a trance. Octavia holds the knife to her wrist. She pierces the skin and makes a long cut along her arm. Bloody blood begins to trickle down her fingers and onto the floor. Octavia raises the knife above her other wrist. A moment more and the ritual will reach its culmination should you intervene. Why does nothing gets me, why does nothing... We could arrest the apostles, preach to them. Alright, arrest the apostles. We will get Inquisition, we will less tolerance, and we will get theology. Rush out the circle to Latari and call the champions of faith. Preach to them. We need 13 eloquence. Nothing is giving us eloquence. This is not good. We are kinda stuck on 11 eloquence. Inquisition power +1. Tolerance -1. Well +1. Reputation 1. Willpower 5. The leader of the circle, Octavia, must be guided back to her lot. You will help her return to the true faith along with her followers. Oh my god, that 11 eloquence is not good. Or we become part of the circle. The Latari ritual, tolerance of fate. Oh, we will lose power. We will lose Inquisitor power. I don't want to. I think we're just gonna arrest them. We're gonna arrest them. You break free of the circle. Out of this house. The song behind you stops and dies. You hear bodies fall to the floor, one after the other. Run, you have to run. You do not look bad as you run outside. You rip the mask from your face and wave your arms. The champions of faith appear before you at once. Hurry, the house is full of apostles who must be arrested at once. The champions of faith storm the mansion. Some of the nobles make a futile attempt at resisting. Most surrenders without a fight. You return to the dark room deep within the mansion. The ritual has been cut short. The people are still on the floor, collapsed unconscious. Octavia Menelaus is on her knees, nude and bleeding. You clutch at the thin silver slab with a prayer to the elder, akin to the metal twins. Grant me the power of healing. As the slab dissolves in a silver glow, light begins to emanate from your hands. The wounds on Octavia's body flash white. Slowly they begin to knit. Octavia Menelaus is returned to her father. The Archduke of Magra expresses his profound gratitude to the Inquisition and promises to see it personally that his progeny is returned to the faith. His dynasty now bears a mark of great shame. The other nobles await their execution one by one, under the watchful eye of Inquisitor Ulrich. The wayward souls descend the pyres to face the judgment of the twins. The Latari society quickly becomes the talk of the entire city. How could this have happened in Magra of all places? Many turn to Patriarch Cassius for answers. For the first time in a long while, he has none. This marks the end of your first year back home. Oh my god. Alright, so maybe just having 20 theology is all we need, guys. Because we're about to hit 20 theology. Night is falling over Anisode. The stifling heat gives way to an eagerly anticipated freshness. After a day at work, you stroll home at a leisure pace. You turn down a city street that you have known since you were a little boy. It is as if your legs are acting of their own accord, bringing you to the place of your childhood play. The remains of the wooden fort. So much has changed since the days when you used to play here with your little friends. Engrossed in your memories, at first you failed to notice that you are not alone here. A tall figure in the uniform of a Legion officer approaches you. You see orangely brown hair and a twinkle in his eyes. It is Tomas. Now that's a surprise. Hi, Brante. Fancy running into you the moment I'm back in town. Your childhood friends put his arms around you. Our battalion got a transfer here recently. We're under the command of the Magra Legion now. I'm keeping the peace and maintaining order in my Pt.1 province. Well, why don't we catch up? Let me buy you dinner. We'll have a little chat. Remember the old days? Thomas cuts himself short. You suddenly notice how much older he looks. His face has become sharper and rougher, and his eyes are filled with exhaustations rather than their usual mischievous spark. I should warn you though, Alexandrus. I ain't the best company nowadays. I managed to get myself some powerful enemies already. I'm a friend who could taint your good name, so if you'd rather not be seen with me, well, I understand. The smile on his face starts to fade. Part of the nobleman, fan of friendship. You and Tomas parted ways long ago. His face no longer linked to yours. Ha! You aren't about to miss a chance to spend some time with your old friend, no matter what kind of danger he's in. Okay, 10 willpower for 1 reputation and 1 friendship with Tomas. Yeah, let's catch up. You give Tomas your hand. You shake hands firmly. So you haven't forgotten your old friend, Brante. That's the way it's ought to be. Well, come on then. You go to the tavern, reminisce about your childhood antics on those petty streets along the way. You choose a table in the far corner of the tavern. Tomas orders a bottle of good wine and some food. You talk about your latest case, about your first years back in Anisode. You share your family news, your quest to become nobles of the sword, the quarrels between your elder brother and sister, your mother's hell. Tomas nods with concern. Sounds like you have some tough times. Your family has always been different. Mine, on the other hand, is the same as he ever was. My pa is always in his workshop and my ma's always doing chores. But look at me. I came home a service-class nobleman. I tie doesn't bring me much joy anymore. Tomas is suddenly grim. You ask your old friend to share his troubles with you. He quickly glances around the room and lowers his voice. Well, I'm captain in the Maran Legion now. And now who's our commander? His Excellency Dorius Sutton. That's right. I sit under the Betty St. Martinian, whose toes I step back on Eternal. And you better believe he remembers me. I'm afraid things are gonna end up real bad. But hey, I'll figure it out somehow. Don't trouble yourself over it. Apart from that, well, it's the usual service. We impose order in purity towns and villages. Protect the province, that sort of thing. And we run drills all day long. Obviously, if only you knew how sick I am of them barracks, Alexandrus. I thought about starting a family. My ma keeps telling me to find a nice girl to marry. She says it's a high time I got hitched. It is completely dark and you are still talking. Finally, Tomas remembers that his parents are waiting for him. You get up from the table, leaving some dirty dishes and quite a few empty bottles behind. On your way out, you catch a glimpse of a nondescript figure following you to the door. As you walk alongside Tomas, alongside Tomas through your home neighborhood. You keep glancing over your shoulder, but the shadow that was following you has disappeared. They were following Tomas, I think. You reach out your streets and stop for a while, in the semi-darkness between your family homes, just as you used to all those years ago. Bye, Brante. I hardly ever come to Anisoti these days. Our battalion is always on march all over the province, but twins willing, we'll see each other again real soon. You advise your friend to safeguard his every life. That's a lot of willpower. Alright guys, give me a minute. I'm going to drink some water. Alright. Sorry guys, just don't wanna... I have the water to the side. In the shadow of the tree, as an archduke and overseer fight for the power in Magra, the common people bear the brunt of their conflict. Incest species begins to fill the city. The temple by the white tree seems to be the only place in the city free from the endless tax of taxation. Today the worshippers in the temple are few, all of them poor people from nearby districts. Some thank the twins for the peace they have brought to the war. Some beg for the sign from above. One little boy is in his knees praying for prosperity. He has yet to learn that it is an error to rely on the twins. Even as you pray, for they are not our servants but the ruler of this war. You approach the altar, bow your head, and whisper a prayer for unity in the Brante family. O Elder, the spirit of truth and love, I thank thee for my family. Aid them, and let them abide in peace and tolerance. Though our wounds may hide the gift of thy love, may we never refuse it thy bounty. To your sorrow, the strife in your family home has proven to be far worse than you have expected from the letters. You never thought the quarrel between Gloria and Stefan will go this far. The temple gradually fills with people as noon approaches. Midday is an hour of the sermon. A priest steps off to the altar, leaning on a staff. The trim of his white cassock is embroidered with gold. He bears a book and his sign titled Lives of the Twins. He is rarely quoted among equal religious scholars. Most of the faithful relied on the teachings of Isatis. You recognize this man from the sacred conclave. Abbot Lenar. Brothers and sisters, today I should speak of the new faith, of his nature and his meaning. Many among you already know and in your hearts, but now I seek to find the words to help you understand it with your minds. For our hearts, our minds alike forever seek the path of the twins. We have all known the doctrines of the old belief and the teachings of Isatis in childhood. Prophet Isatis, who lived more than 1,000 years ago, wrote that the twins grant us all 3 lots to govern us, and 3 lots there are, one for each state of the empire, nobles, commoners, and priests. And so, more than 1,000 years, we have lived by these lots and by the teachings of Isatis, for it is said that as you follow your lot, you are brought closer to the twins, and after the true death that await us, all the end of the path, we shall be brought to the peak of the shining pillar. But now I implore you to look at the blessed Archean Empire. What was it like during the time of Isatis, and what is it like now? Nowadays, no commoner may live by the sweat of his brow alone. In his home and in his trade, even a commoner must lead and rule. And what of the nobles? Their law commands them to fight. But where will they fight if the blessed Archean Empire now extends from sea to shining sea, when all her enemies are gone? The lots of Isatis were once our path to the twins, but now they have become our shackles. Can you ever reach the peak if you walk a path that is impassable? The law that Isatis gave cannot say. The old beliefs has no more answers for us, only questions. I have been a priest for over 30 years, and every day I have considered this question and found no answers. That it is until our mentor Fotis appeared. Fotis says, he who breaks beneath the burden of his lot shall be guilty of the worst sin of all, the sin of rejecting the twins. Is this how we are to reach the peak of the pillar? Is this what the twins want from us? And Fotis said, if the empire in which we live has changed over time, Should not the fate change along with it? And the new fate says, do not confuse your worldly life and the states into which you were born with your spiritual life, where each of us might find the twins of his own, and so may every person find his own lot, his own path to the twins. If a noble must suffer in order to purify his heart and fill it with the love of the twins, then such is his pain. And if a commoner enjoys the fruit of her labor and thank the twins for their gifts, then let this be her path to the top of the shining pillar. The priest's calling is to offer guidance, so that each of us can find his way to the twins, to their law, will, and love, and thus to a bliss on the hereafter. Many servants of the church still persevere in their rejection of the new faith. They find it difficult to reject what they have long considered to be the unshakable foundation of all existence. They find it difficult to face the truth. Let us pray to the twins that the guiding light of the new faith will find them as well. Most people in the temple kneel and bend their heads in silent prayer. The abbot prays along with them. Some, however, remain on their feet. These people shake their heads with expression of distrust and disapproval. Their sermon ends. You feel it is time for you to leave, but then you notice the abbot motioning for you to stay. He walks up to you with a smile as if seeing an old friend. He gestures for you to sit on a pew. Inquisitor Alexandrus, we have not been introduced yet. I am Father Leonard, but you probably know that by now. How do I know you? Why, it's not miracle. A good friend of mine, Augustine Elborn, told me about you. He's a friend of your family. Yeah, I know Elborn. Sir Elborn is a long-standing follower of the new faith, and I have taken upon myself to act as his counselor in matters of the faith. That is certainly good to know, but what does Abbot Leonard want from you? I'm aware that the Inquisition has come to Magra to investigate a report against Patriarch Cassius. I am aware of this because I was the one who wrote the report. What? You stare at the abbot in surprise. What could possibly have motivated him to do this? You see, the Patriarch and I have known each other for many years. We used to engage into debates quite often, on the nature of the twins, on the teachings of Isatis and Fotis, on the paths that serve to guide people on the faith. For all those years, matters such as this were great concerns of Cassius. He used to remember the purpose of his service at all times. He used to truly care for people, but now something has changed him. As he is now, all Cassius desires power. His sermons are filled with lies and pretense. He has gained the support of the old believers, and now he accuses us of apostasy and heresy against the twins. But in truth, he serves the twins no longer. Our opinions often differ, but my most recent conversation with Cassius left me terrified. I expected him to accuse the new faith once again of straying from the true path to the peak, but the Patriarch suddenly questioned the importance of guiding people to the twins at all. The Patriarch of Magra, of all people, told me this, Alexandrus. The man who addressed the twins in the name of the entire congregation, the man who must be the embodiment of purity and virtue for his flock. I wrote my report and sent it to the order immediately after we spoke. I'm glad to see you got here quickly. But if you ever found the proof of my words, what would you do? What awaits Magra if the Sacred Tribunal of the Inquisition condemns Cassius? You may have noticed that the delicate situation in our province by now. Magra is the birthplace of the new faith, and many worshippers have been eager to take the teachings of Otis to heart. And yet, the priests in Magra remain deeply bound by the old traditions. Can you imagine the chasm of misunderstanding that now separates the clergy from their flock? Kinda. And yet, should Patriarch Cassius be cast out of the faith, the conclave would most likely elect another ardent old believer in his place. The gulf between the clergy and the fold, the old faith and the present day, will only grow deeper. It is my opinion, however, that there is another way out, which is why I must beg you for your aid. Tell me, if you may, what it is the foundation of every faith and belief. It's not books or rituals or templars, it's people. Our church has forgotten about this. But it is the people who must choose to guide the guide they will follow to the shining pillar. I know you came to Anisoti to weed out heretics and apostles, but I'm begging you, please do not judge in haste. The fears of punishment paralysis those who are on the way to seek the new faith. Please allow them to seek answers of their own. They might stumble along the way, but this is the price we must pay to blaze our own trail. And when all said is done, the new faith will be our salvation. For Magra, for the Empire, and for every person who lives here. Oh my god. Yep, I can. Shield of the old faith. I can't even set this because my eloquence is too low. I need to find a way to increase my eloquence. I'm not gonna be able to make choices with my eloquence. Alright, help Father Leonard, refuse Father Leonard. You agree to help the new believers. Refuse Father Leonard. You state that you will not serve the interests of the Inquisition. Point the flaws to the new faith. Alright, let's help him out. You know, just for now. We're gonna promise him that we're gonna do our best with the old faith, but alright, buddy, we'll help you. Why not? You see a kernel of truth in Father Leonard's words. If you grant people the opportunity to seek the peak of the pillar of their own, they will be able to form a new church and find new faith in the twins. And this new faith will not be imposed upon them, but will come from their own hearts. You promise to show mercy to those who seek their own path, to the elder and the younger. You promise to help the new faith grow stronger and find answers where the old faith could not. When it comes to electing a new patriarch, it must be done by the people and not the clergy, who are entrenched in antiquated, outdated tradition. Father Leonard smiles and offers you his hand. Thank you, brother. May the truth reveal itself to you. May it fill you. Ah, dude, like we're making... You promised the Habit that you would defend the new faith. Well, let's see about that. You look at him intensely after a long pause. You tell him that the truth is to follow the path of the twins with a pure purpose and an open heart. They need nothing more and neither do you. You promise the Abbot to defend the teachings of the new faith. Yeah. I'm so locked out of eloquence, Aaron. Today is a big day for the Brante family. The day of your family started the day when you remember all your ancestors. Tonight, everyone who bears the name Brante must descend into the family crypt to keep vigilant by the tombs. This is the time to surrender yourself to your ancestor and hear their will. Their entire family prepares for the event in silence. Stefan has been choosing his appearance since morning, prayer anxiously under his breath, all the while the hair has a special place in the family vigil. Even Mother is planning to go with you. The father tries to talk her out of it. Lydia, I beg of you, stay home. You are far too weak for an all-night vigil in the crypt. Gloria, would you be so kind as to stay with your mother, since you cannot join us anyway? Gloria answers in a muffled voice. As you wish, Sister Rubber. The laser Gregor will only be enraged to see Mother there. We all remember how the last encounter ended. Father Norse currently avoiding Gloria's grace, but at that moment your attention is drawn to a noise in the foyer. Nathan staggers through the door, stumbling over his own feet. He reeks of shit wine and fell. I'm not late, am I? Everyone gazes at him in consternation. Nathan almost falls into Mother's and Gloria's arms. Distressed, they fuss over him. Stefan eyes his younger brother coldly. I expected nothing more of you, Nathan. Why even speak of duty to your family when you can't even manage to live by the commoner's lot? Go lie down in the pantry and stay out of our sight. Father, Alexandros, it's time. Let's go. Alongside Father and Stefan, you descend into the family crypt. You cannot help but remember paying your last respects to your grandfather 9 years ago. Did I? You light the lamps, dimming eerie flames illuminating the shrine. In the middle of it stands a magnificent stone tomb containing the long decayed remaining of Gregor Brante. You take your places around the crypt and kneel. The all-night vigil has begun. At first your ancestors remain silent. Each of you is left with their own thoughts. Then a low murmur passes around you. The shadows in the corners of the room deepen. The voice grows stronger. You know that the ancestor of Gregor Brante, long-forgotten commoners who you never knew, are trying to talk to you. But now a memory of them has come to life in the darkness of the crypt. They are pleading for something, demanding of you, calling out to you, screaming. Finally, you all hear that painful, familiar, deep, imperious voice echo from the end of the chamber. It's been a long time since I've seen you all. I hope you bear good tidings. All this time, I've been waiting for you to fill my mission. Remember, as long as I'm in your blood, I will give you no peace. I did not have my family in Noble just to see our light cut short. Our blood tie must join the grand flow of the Empire, and then each of my descendants will inherit nobility forever and ever. But I do not see any of you before my tomb. Where are you hiding? Where is the head of our family, the man who will speak to me? Where is the man who will heal my will? Father rises from his knee and makes his way toward grandfather's tomb, the source of that booming voice, but Stefan suddenly pushes him out the way. Father takes an intended step forward, but Stefan firmly bars the way. Stop it, Stefan. You are my hair. You are my hair, but you are not the head of the family, of this family. Father, it is not you that Sir Gregor's addressing. Earning the nobility of the sword is my duty to him. He has long forsaken any hope of seeing you achieve it. You must understand that I am the one who will fulfill that duty. We could step forward, ourselves. Stefan does not let him pass. Father breathes heavily in anger. You can all but feel the frantic beating of both their hearts, reasoning someone within you. But your father and brother seems to have forgotten that you are here too. Even the redless voices of your ancestors have grown hushed, waiting for the outcome of the fight, of this confrontation. Alright, so we could side with father, which will give some friendship to our dad. Robert Dante remains the head of the family. The eldest brother has earned the right to speak to the ancestors on behalf of the family. We'll gain diplomacy and willpower, which is great. But we have a lot of willpower. Or we could step forward and get 3 valor if we had the path of the nobleman or the blood tie. And guess what, guys? We don't have any of that. You're yourself entitled to speak to your ancestor. -2 with Stefan, -2 with Robert, +1, +2 to Gregor. Alright. We're siding with father. Super easy here. You block Stefan way. Your ponderous voice fills the dark crypt. You demand that your brother steps back. The head of your family is your father, Robert Brante, and so it will be as long as he lives. Could your brother have forgotten that it is part of the noble lot to acknowledge and honor seniority? Your father is the man who must hear and accept your ancestors' will. Stefan tries to maintain his composure, but even in the dark, you can see his face twitch. Brother, you don't understand. I'm not defying father's seniority, but I am the man who bears his duty to our grandfather. I cannot remain a mere witness while the future of our blood tie runs through our fingers. You resolutely push your brother to one side. Whether he wants to or not, he will give way to the head of the family. Father catches his breath and approaches grandfather's tomb. So it's you, Robert. Have you come to disappoint me yet again? Stefan is right. I have not put my hopes in you for quite some time. If anyone would lead the Brante family to glory, it would be my grandson. Stefan clenches his fist and whispers something to himself. I am doing my utmost, Father. We are closer to becoming nobles of the sword than ever before. The Overseer looks upon us with favor. Just a couple more years and your dream will come true. This must be your dream too, Robert. But you still cater to your foundlings, Lydia and Gloria, risking a permanent blemish upon the Brante name, my name. Dead though I may be, my will lives on. Hear it at last. Get rid of that parasite, Gloria, and devote yourself to your true family. Otherwise, you will lead our family to shame and ruin. Father hesitates for a moment. No, Father, that is impossible. Even if I must defy your will, I am responsible for Gloria. My honor and my conscience will not allow me to do what you demand. You must accept this, or keep on fighting me for all eternity. The voice of your deceased ancestor fades away. He seems to have left this realm, but then his voice suddenly booms from the other echo side of the crypt. Stefan, you are the heir of this family. Your duty by blood is to earn us a place in eternity. Do not take after your spineless father. Do what must be done. Cleanse our family of wickedness. Stefan is shivering. He replies in a steady voice. But Gloria, I can't. Stefan checks himself. I will do my duty to my family, Sir Gregor. Whatever the price, I will pay it. The grave is completely silent once more. You are alone again. You see tears glistening on Stefan's face. Without uttering a word, he goes outside. Father clasps his arms firmly around you. You feel him let out a sigh of sorrow and relief. The vigil is over. Man, what the hell? Like, that blood dies like some kind of possession, you know? Nice! Alright, we're gonna see if we could sleep. I'm gonna do my best to hit Unity 10. The War of the Magran Inquisition has little space for dungeons in which to detain and question suspects. Just a handful of underground cells, tiny windows and heavy doors. You and Jean are standing in one of them, facing a man accused of heresy. 2 days of questioning have yielded nothing. This man was distributing books containing a distorted version of the teachings of Isatis. The teachings themselves were intact, but the books also include comments that openly criticize the foundation of the old faith. To set up a clandestine print shop for such blasphemous book, one needs powerful connections and money. This could be your chance to track down a heretical sect of considerable power. The man on his man is on a rack. Rope is wrapped tightly around his wrist, turning them a deep shade of blue. Jean has treated the prisoner with patience and mercy. She has forbidden the use of torture in an effort to prove you the man that his silence is pointless. You hear footsteps coming down the stairs. Inquisitor Ulrich enters the room. He has refrained from interfering in your investigation for 2 days, but it seems his patience is an end. You and Jean welcome your mentor with a curt nod. He walks past you and examines them upon the rack. Slowly he shakes his head. I see you are in need of my aid and guidance. Remove him from the rack and put him in a chair. You humble do as he says, what Ulrich takes great care in selected the proper tool for what is to come. When the man is finally seated, the Inquisitor steps closer. Okay. Sharp steel flashes and the severed tip of the man's pinky falls to the floor. Ow! Oh, what the hell, man? The man lets loose a blood-curdling scream. Father Ulrich sets the finger down to the knuckle. Well, where is the print shop? The man shrieks and curses at him. Father Ulrich walks around the chair. The prisoner eyes push in terror. The Inquisitor removes the man's ear with a precise cut. Oh my god, bro! Calm down, man! The prisoner howls in pain, shivering, convulsing, blood streaming down his neck, forming a dark brown strain on his plain shirt. Jean is stone-faced as she watches this happen. Ulrich is certainly dispassionate, every bit as calm and calculated as before. This manner of corporal punishment is an everyday occurrence for him. The Inquisitor continues the torture, repeating the same question over and over again in the same tranquil voice. The prisoner will not stop convulsing, but he says nothing. 10 finger joints now lie scattered around the floor of the room. Streams of blood trickle down the thumb's laps. Ulrich reached for a hammer. Finger bones are trial. There is a crack. Then a scream, the sobbing. The knees are next. Okay! My god. The prisoners will not stop screaming. Between the howling and the tears, his lips are unsealed at last. He begs for you to stop. He will tell you everything. The print shop is in Solmina, a small mining town in Eastern Magra. The prisoner tells you exactly where it is hidden. Jean writes it down. Father Ulrich walks over to a washpan. He pours some water on his blood-stained hands, then carefully wipes them dry. He glares at you and Jean. Never pity a heretic. They deserve neither compassion nor your mercy. Sister Ginny, finish him off. A lesser death is a fitting punishment for his crimes. Father Ulrich, forgive me for my impudence, but this man's fate must be determined by a tribunal. Sister, I have personally sentenced him to lesser death for his sins. The tribunal is a mere formality. A senseless waste of time, just like your attempts to convince him to speak. Forgive me, but I refuse. You and I belong to the same lot. You are not a noble. You cannot give me orders. You are far too arrogant for a girl barely out of the seminary. Father Ulrich's voice rings. Like hardening steel, Jean meets his gaze defying. The prison is sobbing quiet, still shaking. You know what? We get valor. We get valor if we insist that the prisoner must face a tribunal. Nah, let's kill him. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. Like, he's already broken. He has no fingers. He literally has almost broken legs. What's the point of letting him live? Like, he has no ear. Sorry, guys. No, drinking some water to the side. It's summer right now, so it's really hot. You take the knife and step behind the prisoner's back. A moment of doubt. Will you defy your lot if you kill this man? Ulrich casts a weirdly confident gaze upon you. You understand that he will do it without hesitation. With a swift motion, you slit his prisoner's throat. The man emits a few convulsive gasps before his head finally collapses onto his chest. Slowly, the body dissolves into like wisps of white smoke. Jean twisted her lips, turns on her heels, and hurries out of the interrogation room. Father Ulrich gives you an approving nod. You have a firm hand, Alexandrus, and you're not afraid to get it dirty. A dead preferable by torture often proves better guidance in the ways of the common law than 100 sermons. And guiding people to their lots is our immediate duty. Sister Jean is to focus on rules and dogma. This is the simple approach to the Inquisitor's calling. It is also the path chosen by most of our brethren, but you perhaps may yet see the true nature of the twins. You leave the room, the prisoner's blood-stained clothes, the only reminder of his former presence. The man's body has vanished. The apostles paid for his crimes with a lesser death. Alright guys, I want to check something. Okay, that's 22 years. I'll do that. Just a few days into the year, Mayor Ekman, chairman of the Lesser Quorum and owner of several silver mines, made a speech that caused quite a stir in the province. Though a commoner, Ekman had the gall to demand that the Magran authorities both enforce and obey imperial law. What's the use of the imperial law if they aren't enforced as they should be? Even today, any uninsulted nobleman who gets up on the wrong side of the bed can draw his sword and run a commoners through impunity. These gentlemen may be our rulers, but does that mean they can defy the Emperor's will? Cyril Bourne has been appointed to enforce the rule of law in Magra. How come the prefect doesn't see this? We commoners aren't trying to seize the noble lot and take over the province, but the rule of tradition is a thing of the past. This is the age of justice. We may not all be equals in his eyes, but even the nobles and clergy must obey the law. The Magran aristocracy is furious with Ekman and demands that he be silenced, but the rich industrialist has too much money and too many connections to be dealt with so easily. You hear more and more rumors about secret societies of commoners appearing in the city, plotting against the noble rule. The gentry feels that Ekman and his peers might be behind this, but they have no proof, at least for now. Father Leonard, abbot of the Temple of the Silver Tree and a leader of the New Believers, supports Egmont and has spoken publicly in his favor. The twins themselves entrusted the noble state with the right to rule over the common folk. But rulers must also care. Must also care for their subjects. The old faith is mistaken. No commoner should ever be forced to suffer. It is for this very reason that the imperial law exists. It is there to assist the people's suffering. May those laws be duly enforced, and may they serve all the people to the empire. Okay. Egmont's speech, guys. The first day of spring. It is an early morning. The carriage bounces over a pothole on the road, jolting your way. The village of Sulmin is already on the horizon. You are close now. You travel alone, escorted only by David Agaronim and his champions of faith. Father Ulrich was so intent on denying Jean the chance to investigate the print shop that he called for an Inquisition tribunal meeting for this very purpose. Your mentor thought you better prepare for the journey to Sulmina, and the other inquisitors stood by him. Furious as she was, Jean had no choice but to accept the tribunal's decision. She saw you off before you departure, not one for affection and farewell. She gave you stern admonition instead. Remember, only the clergy may preach and interpret the words of Isatis. Such is our lot and the burden of the priest's day. We are the ones who are educated and trained to guide laymen to the righteous path. A commoner or noble who expostulates on the twins is thus guilty of defying their lot, and shall suffer at the foot of the shining pillar for all eternity. The books from this accursed print shot pose a great danger to every chamber of the noble and common states. I'm counting on you, Alexandros. Make those apostles pay for what they done. The carriage shakes as he rolls down the bumpy Magran high road. You pass the time before your arrival by flipping through the pages of the book that started this investigation. It is a paper-bound tome, and so you usually lie. You look through the family lines, the teachings of Isatis in this section. The prophet outlines his thought of understanding the lots. And so the twins did descend upon the land. Clad in flesh, they walked their path among the living and brother their war. Blessed was the Archean race to carry their rule through the land, transforming the land to pursue their own design, for this design was pleasing to the twins. And so the twins did annoy the bloodline of Tempest to rule over a worldly kingdom. Such was their will and love and law. And so the blessed the Archean Empire came to be, and so the law of this land became intertwined with the laws of the heavens. And thus spake the elder, he who lives a righteous life shall know eternal bliss upon the peak of the shining pillar. And thus spake the younger, he who defies the law in life shall find eternal torment at the foot of the shining pillar. What is a righteous life? The elder will not say. What is defying the law? The younger would not say. But there was no malice in this, nor was there any secret. The twins named the blessed Archean Empire their worldly kingdom, and thus for all eternity the shape and form of the empire shall be pleasing to them, and the laws of the empire shall be the laws given to us by the twins. Though do we all serve the empire, and thus do we fulfill their will? The nobleman serves with the swords and rules over the states, for such is his noble lot. The commoner labors for the good of the empire. Your eyes shift to the notes happen to those lines. Their author is unknown. Prophet Isatis, being the first disciple of the elder, addressed the twins by their side. What is your will? He asked. How does one live a righteous life in keeping with your law? He was granted a revelation and given a reply. There can be no doubt that this is the truth, just as there can be no doubt in the doctrines that have guided the people of the blessed Archean Empire to the peak of the more 1,000 years. But this answer was given to the prophet in a time when the war was unlikely the war of the present. The Archnean Empire was surrounded by enemies on all sides, and many lesser... Oh no. Okay, checking the computer. The Archnean was surrounded by enemies on all sides, and many lesser races and civilizations lay among us. Powerful sorcerers fought to resist the will of the true gods, and priests of false gods were corrupting the people's souls with their profane rites. This was an age when the Archnean Empire had no nobles of the mantle, nor any nobles of the human race, nor did it have any commoners to toil and labor and be ruled over for the good of the empire. The empire has changed drastically since the time of when Prophet Isatis was giving his answers. The empire, his forms, and his laws have all changed, and so our path to service to the empire and the twins must change as well. We must cast away the old answers. We must forget Isatis and the lots. Okay. The carriage comes to a halt. It is time to put the book away. You have reached the village. The locals are ready for your arrival. There are no women or children outside, only men. They casually lean on pitchforks and sigh, as that they just happen to have them on hand. The miners remain close to their pickaxes and sledgehammers. They eye you with suspicion, waiting for you to act, and so you speak to them loudly. There's a print shop in this village. Where is it? The villagers do not answer. They only clutch harder at their mattocks and staves. Some of them reach for rocks. The peasants surrounds you on all sides. The champions of fates in turn reach for the swords. Capitan Agarani is ready to give the order to attack at the slightest provocation. But then you spot a figure of the hill, a man with the staff dressed in white. It is Father Lenar, abbot of the temple by the silver tree. He waves to you and down the hill, then crowds parts before him. Brother and sisters, have no fear. I am sure our guests from the Order of the Inquisition have come here with no ill intent. Please, good Inquisitors, leave these people be. They were just trying to protect me. They don't realize that the twins' protection is the only shield I need. Come with me, my friends. I will show you what you seek. He guides you to a large house on the hill. Inside are several printing press. Young people dressed in white are tending to them, printing new pages, sorting them, and binding them into books. The print shop workers freeze in fears when they notice your blackest sock and the silver seal on your side. Do you see this, dear brother? These are all the books that they teach the new faith. There is neither heresy nor apostasy here. This is education, and the Patriarch of Magra has approved it. Leonard produces a scroll and shows it to you. I, Cassius Patriarch of Magra, hereby grant Father Leonard, abbot of the Temple of the Silver Tree, permission to study and annonate the writings of the great prophet Isatis. For it is within that the lot of the priest to study the twins and interpret their will. Please understand this, brother. It is true that any layman may seek guidance from a priest, but no priest can guide every decision a person makes. For we are all endowed with free will. If the people learn more about the twins, it will be much easier for them to follow their will of their own and chart their own path to the peak of the shining pillar. Enough of this heresy. Only priests have the right to interpret the faith. So say Isatis. This is your priestly lot, your duty and your burden to bear. But you new believers now seek to compel laymen to shoulder this burden? They have been explicitly forbidden to bear it. You were just leading people straight to torment at the foot of the pillar, and you're saying this is how it's supposed to be? Please do not be so quick to blame me and our doctrine. What you have just said is also an interpretation of the laws, Captain. Even though you claim it is not your burden to bear, but I don't judge you at all. For anyone who seeks their love, it's only natural to seek an understanding of the law. The teachings of Fodis are not forbidden. The new faith is not heresy, but a path to salvation. We will continue to preach our doctrine and look for other paths of the peak that have been rejected by the old faith. It saddens me to see that our teachings are still met with such fierce resistance from the clergy. Even here in Magra, the birthplace of the new faith, even when the patriarchs of Arnia and Astinia have acknowledged the truth of the new faith and preached his doctrine themselves. Capitan Algaris Branfurus, he looks at you. It is time your lot to judge matter of the new faith. You are one who must decide. Oh. Why does nothing give me why does nothing give me eloquence? Like seriously. Because so was it because I wasn't able to hit 12 eloquence? Like did that screw everything up? Anyway, let's read this, guys. Destroy the print shot. This look must be banned. -1 Inquisitor +1 Reputation 1 the Father Leonard Penance -2. These books must be banned. League books alone. Church 1 Inquisitor -1 Tolerance Father Leonard +2 Father Ulrich -1. Or we could redact the books because we have 15 theology, which is great. This book will be published, but only when you are done editing them. That will give us order, Inquisitor power, tolerance of faith. Okay, you know what? We're gonna redact and censor the books. That way we get some tolerance of faith and more Inquisitor power. Don't worry, buddy, I got you. You look from Captain Algorithm to Father Leonard and back again. They are both right in their own way. No one must be allowed to revive Prophet Isatis believing the tenets of the old faith must remain unshaken. However, the new believers must not be prevented for finding their own paths to the twins. Between the two extremes they offer, you suggest your own solution, a middle ground. The print shop would remain open. However, the Inquisitor will have the right to review and censor everything it prints. The silence that follows brief. Father Leonard nods and Captain Algorithm shrugs in support. It falls upon you to review their books in details and purge if any of the information of the Prophet Isatis, all while keeping the teachings of Beatrice's foot is intact. This revision takes too many weeks to complete. At least the book is ready to see the light. Father Ulrich wears a dubious expression as he paces through the book. A compromise, the worst choice of all. So much effort wasted on a book that nobody wants to see in his current form. There's one good thing, however. We asserted our authority and claimed the right to censor sacred texts. Congratulations on that, Brother Alexander, if nothing else. You cannot help but agree that Father Ulrich's words ring true. Drained and exhausted by the long labor, you return home and succumb to dreamless sleep as soon as you close your eyes. Yeah, but we're still not trying. But we are not trying to destroy the tolerance of the faiths, as far as I know. And we're doing really good with. All right, we have 10 willpower. We need to like be careful. Your brothers had been much more peaceful for the last year. The fights between Stefan and Gloria are not as fierce now. But how long would this last? Your job takes up all your time. You see your parents and siblings less and less often. Sometimes you don't even know what they're doing when you deal with the constant stream of duties. This morning you head out on urgent business. You take one step off the gate and run into a uniformed gendarme. Alexandros Brante, your presence is requested at the Prefecture dungeon. Taken aback, you ask what this is about. We have your brothers Stefan and Nathan Brante in a cell. They were arrested last night at the Stainer's Inn. They asked us to send for you. What the hell, guys? Why are you arrested? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Just... Their cells in the Prefecture dungeon are cold and lamp. The guards lead you to the bars and behind them you see Nathan huddled in the corner. Your younger brother's unshaven, more dishevelled than usual, and sinking of wine and fill. Near the cell, you see Stefan, grimy sitting in a chair. You guess that the gendarme's thought it'd be best not to put him in the same cell as his lone-born brother. Upon seeing you, Nathan lets out a whimper and Stefan cracks a bitter smile. The sheet on your brother's belt is empty. There you are, at least, Alexandros. Have a good look at your younger brother. Yesterday he got drunk in the company of some dubious fellows. They are commoners, yet they dare to surrender to pleasure. They started a brawl, wrecked the inn, and harassed the waitress. As soon as I heard, I rushed to save this drunkard from shame. Nathan cowers into the corner, horror struck. I walk in and demanded that Nathan come with me, but his crewnes wouldn't let him go. That's not true. You just grabbed me by the collar and dragged me after you. You nearly suffocated me. Shut your mouth, Kerr. So, brother, they seem to have some sort of sect. They all shouted defamation against the twin gods, and one of them grabbed me by the arm. I was forced to skewer this heretic with my sword. I hope a lesser death will teach him never to lay his filthy paws on a nobleman. He was just trying to talk to you, Stefan. Silence! Then the gendarmes bark in, and here we are. I have been accused of an unlawful murder. Apparently the new laws allow killing a commoner only if he attacks first or wields a weapon. They say that in the event of an insult, I'm supposed to file a complaint with the prefecture. So now they're going to seize my sword for a whole year. What a shame. And it's all your fault, Nathan. Stefan gives the bars a furious kick. Nathan covers his face with his hand in despair. Alexander's brother, you are our only hope. Get me my sword back and get us out of here. And fast. We have to bury this sword-fed affair as deep as we can before anyone finds out. Save our family from shame. Alright, so we could so we have like 3 choices. Use our authority, path of the nobleman, career, alright, blackmail the judge, path of the lot. Okay, so we need to have paths for this. You use your position as a judge to free Stefan and Nathan. You find a document compromising the judge assigning to this case. He will free your brothers. You arrange for the case to be entrusted to use an Inquisitor and free your brothers. I mean, this gives me 1 scheming, which is not a lot. We could ask Father for help. You persuade the head of the family to use his powers as judge to free Stefan and Nathan, which will make us lose unity and reputation. Will earn manipulation. Robert won't like that, but okay, so fine. Let's lose one Inquisitor. Let's lose Inquisitor power. Screw it. Take them to the Inquisition. You produce your Inquisitor's medallion and show it to his gendarmes. Your brother case involves heresy. You explain Hesse must be transferred to Inquisitions without delay. But Inquisitor Brante, we saw Sir Stefan run through that man's right before our eyes. The law says. You dare glare at the gendarme captain. Is Linden question your authority? Or does he wish to compel the Inquisition to take a closer look at the prefecture's cases? Distraught, the gendarme knows obediently and unlocks the cell. The elder brother takes the younger by the scruff of the neck and pulls him to the door. Nathan staggers and shuffles along limply. You march after them. Stefan's sword is in your hands. Your brother's free again. Stefan sheathes his sword reverently. I knew I could count on you, Alexandros. Not even a priest's robes could make you forget that our family honors always paramount. With a grim air, you agree. In order to rectify the situation, you have to take advantage of your office. Sooner or later, the city's clerics will become aware of it. Your abuse of powers will inevitably harm the Inquisition's authority. Back home, Stefan starts lecturing Nathan. From now on, there will be no more drinking boots or other nocturnal exploits. Who are those rogues you befriended anyway? Stop shaming this family. If you're so worthless, at least let others go about their business in peace. Do you understand, you blockhead? Nathan remains silent, staring despondently somewhere above him. You interrogate Nathan yourself. You have to ascertain whether he's really keeping company with heretics. You ask Nathan who the people he was drinking with then were and what they were teaching him. They weren't teaching me anything, Alexandros. We just decided that it was high time we stopped incessantly restraining ourselves and did whatever our souls asked of us. His soul, that's exactly what Nathan should be thinking about. You certainly expound the dangers of such insolence to your brother. Surely now that he has been behind bars, he would not wish to end up in the dungeons of the Inquisition. Nathan furrows his brows and stares at you in silence. Whether he's concealing, you will not be able to force him to reveal it now. Alright, we got some scheming. Not sure if we can use it, but yeah. Okay, 3 years. We're close, we're close. The principle of the will. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. The power of the Inquisition is growing in the Magra with each passing day. You rejoice in the thought that you have contributed to this. One evening, Inquisitor Ulrich comes to see you. Good evening, Inquisitor Alexandrus. Tomorrow morning, I'm going on a little pilgrim to one of the most ancient temples of the twins, not far from Anisote. I would like you to accompany me. You meet Ulrich by the east gate at first light. Your mentor carries a pack of torches behind his back. He hands you a heavy bag of water and supplies. Let's go. That's a long way. If we want to make it back before that, we should hurry. And so begins your journey deep into the desert. After Anisote disappears completely behind the dunes, you feel Ulrich lost, but Ulrich still measures on confidently, never slowing down despite increasing heat. When the sun reaches its zenith, walking becomes an impossible task. Your throat is dry, the hot air burning you on the inside with every breath you take. Ulrich climbs one last dune and points at a small cliff standing tall amid the sands. This is it. Completely worn out by the heat, you trudge behind your mentor. He leads you towards a small entrance to a cave and hands you one of the torches. It will be dark inside. The cave runs deep underground. Part of it is buried in the sand. Trying not to fall behind, you examine your surroundings as you walk. The walls are covered with pictures that look very ancient. The further down you go, the more images there are. After some pictures of creatures unknown to you, you see those of Arnians, Sumians, and Latari. What is this place? Which eras and events are depicted in these murals? Eventually the corridor ends. You enter a temple. It is a spacious cavern. The natural walls of the cave have been smoothed down and decorated with intricate paintings. The largest image depicts two familiar figures, the elder and the younger. Behind it, protected by the gods, you see humans and Archeans. Other nations and false gods burn at their feet. The younger smites his enemies with a sword, enforcing the law. The elder casts a sorrowful glance to the side that denies his love to those who refuse to accept him. You are stuttered by Ulrich's voice behind you. His words echo through the cave. Tell me, Alexandrus, which aspect of the twin stands above the others? You turn to your mentor, trying to comprehend the question. Without waiting for an answer, Ulrich continues. I said this shows the law as the foundation of his teaching. It was on this basis that he constructed the theory of the laws that now understands our blessed Arcane Empire. The new believers see love as the source of the all existence and place it above the law. But the truth is that both law and love are created by the will, as in everything in this world. This cave was the shrine of a people long banished. They despised the twins and saw it in our gods, that evil that destroyed their world. But the history of the civilization is buried in oblivion. The twins destroy all false gods and those who worship them of their own will. There is no one else up there, only the elder and the younger. And there is no one else in this world but humans and Arcanians. Such is the triumph of will over will. Ulrich passes his gaze and fixes upon you. When he speaks again, his tone alters subtly. The Inquisitor seems to fill the cave with his very presence. But how can we serve those who are will incarnate? And what is the will? Prophet Isatus gave us an answer to this question too, in the third volume of this teaching, now banned by the Church and buried in oblivion. Don't be surprised, Alexandros. The Holy Fathers were frightened by the teachings the Prophet gave us in the autumn of his years. But I will share his secret with you. Isatis says that the nature of the will lies in struggle, in mastery, in power over everything. It was in a struggle between the wills of the elder and the younger that our word was born. By mastering someone else's will, you gain your own. The true path to serving the twins entails power over the will of another. Alexandros, what would you do if you knew that only by breaking the law could you set foot upon the path of the will? What would you say if you knew that only by renouncing any will but your own could you serve the gods? Holy crap, 40 willpower. The twins are more than just the will, they're also love and law. You will not walk a false path. We will do this because I do want to become Father Ulrich Master. Because I think, guys, what I want to do, if possible, I'm not sure if it will happen, because this is a hard chapter. I think what we're going to try to do is, I think I want to get this chapter outcome. Shadow of the Will. You follow Ulrich on the path of the will until the very end. I think I want to get this. Yeah, I agree. I will die. But I will get 20, like I will get straight up plus 20 willpower on top of my power. So this would probably be better if I didn't have no will, but because I do have some will. Oh, disagreeing with him costs minus 10 willpower. Nah, let's agree with him. Let's die. You look Ulrich straight in the eye. It is indeed so. The will is the source of everything in this war. It is about the law and stronger than love. It is true the path of service of the twins, and you're ready. And you are ready for it. Come hither, Alexandros. You step forward, unable to resist. You're bound by his word alone. He has ordered no player to the twins. Use no sacrificial silver. Is this truly the power of the gods? With a cold smile, Ulrich draws a dagger. He stabs you below the ribs. The cold slowly sinks into your flesh. Blood soaks your clothing. You fall to your knees. The sharp pains rip scream for your lip. Ulrich lays a hand on your forehead. Fear not. Fear and hesitation are our greatest foe. The fear resides. It is replaced by pain. With each passing second, you draw closer to your death. Ulrich reaches into his satchel, takes our collar and fastens it around your neck. Death will not come soon. We will have plenty of time to do everything we need. And then when you are reborn, another will shall guide you. Ulrich leans over you. He speaks softly, but his face fills the entire cave. I have chosen you, Alexandros. Now you are my disciple. The will is within you. My will. We will purge Magra of heretics and renegades. Then we will purge the entire empire. Our will shall bind the people of this empire. Our will shall bestow a lot upon them, a lot they can neither renounce nor violate. I like this. I don't like dying, but I like the idea that we're using our will to put the city where it belongs. The Inquisitor straightens it up. The collar presses into your neck. You have trouble breathing. You will not be able to remove the collar. Even after you die and are reborn, it will remain in place. The burning in your stomach is insufferable now. Your vision goes dark. Ulrich's voice fades away. Your consciousness leaves you. You die. Alright, give me a minute, guys. Impenetrable darkness surrounds you. You stand alone, bare to your very essence. It paralyzes you. You have an urge to cover yourself, to hide. No one should see you so vulnerable, but you cannot conceal the truth in this place. You are battled in an unbearable blind light. He has no hint of warmth in it. It is blinding. It leaves no shadows the entire war. It is the light of the shining pillar itself. It is radiance. You can clearly see all your thoughts and doubts, your errors and transgressions, the contradictions that have permeated you since birth. They cover you from head to toe, like rough gray tatters, but they melt away in this light. You are naked. You feel liberated and whole. It is as though all the wounds and cracks in your soul have been healed, making it the way it should be. It is as though the scales have fallen from your eyes. You see the true shapes of things now. These are the law by which the worlds abide, the grand design that moves life itself. You tread a path that is barely visible in the binding light, giving shade to everything. In this light, you see the infinite complexity of the war, from the tiniest lift to the enormity of the empire, and this war maintained his balance by virtue of the law that was enabled in his doing the act of creation. Ahead of you, two fingers are waiting on the path. They are gigantic, many times taller than a man. The elder holds a lash, the younger a sword. The younger gazes at you sternly, coldly. You kneel obediently before him and lower your head. The god raises his sword above you. This is a divine retribution. There is no law with it, nor can there be. Every action has consequences. This is what happens, the war making his very existence possible. In this moment, beneath the gaze of the merciless God, you will comprehend the law that binds the entire world together. Which manifestation of the law would you live by? The empire? The law? The family? The cause? Yourself? Or against the law? You are a noble of the law. You have been made in accordance with the divine side. You defy the design of the gods and the law that binds it together. No, we listen to the gods. Your light work shades the war and does your influence the great law itself. Yeah, that sounds fine. The cause. The blade flashes. The youngest sword slashes through the air above your head. You do not yet deserve your final punishment. The law demands that you continue your life. Your form has not been completely destroyed, nor has that been of the war. The younger extends his gigantic hands and shows you the way. You must proceed. The path leads you to the top of the crown of the silver tree, spread wide in the white gleam. The branches are closer now. It is time to descend. You are drawn down guard into darkness. The shadows that had disappeared in the blinding glow creep around you and envelop you. This is to be expected, but the purity and clarity of spirit are still with you. Something is forcing your throat open. Air. It scratches you on the inside. Your soul is filled with struggle again, with the contradictions from which the fabric of this world and you yourself are woven. The divine light that gave you clarity is fading away with each passing moment. You have to open your eyes. Above you is the dark ceiling of the crypt. You are reborn. The crypt darkness, you feel the cold stone beneath your naked body. The hot color still around your neck, invisible, intangible, impossible to forget. You are filled with an unfamiliar sincerely, whatever you might desire, whatever you might strive for. It is all within your grasp. Your path is clear. Nothing can stop you now. There is no hesitation, no fear. Only will. Ulrich's your master now. He made you a willis and gave you the sacrament of the color. Let's go! Prepare for anything, bro. Prepare for anything. Ulrich has become your teacher. You accepted the belief of willisism and got your collar. Yeah. We're gonna help Master Ulrich, take down the city. Privilege and authority. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Alright, before we do that, let's check our Aracum. Yes, so as long as I don't die anymore, I need Inquisitor Power 10 and not die. That's the conditions. You follow Ulrich on the path of the will until the very end. We cannot die, at all, if we want descending. And I do want descending. So Inquisitor Power 10 is what we need. Like at the end of the chapter. The more powerful the Order becomes, the faster the tensions between the Inquisitors and the civil authorities escalates. It all starts with a small incident. You receive a report that a visitor from capital by the name of Alan El Corvio has fought a duel with a local nobleman of the Este family and kill him. The story would be of no consequence for the Inquisition if not for the cause of the duel. Rumor has that Sir Este accused Sir El Corvio of heresy. Inquisitor Ulrich promptly gives his orders and the noble visitor is brought in for questioning. You and Jean attend interrogation. Alan El Corvio is a slender, middle-aged nobleman wearing an elegant black jacket. Firmly believing that he has done the right thing, he answers all questions freely. Sir El Corvio, a matter of fate has compelled me to summon here you for a little conversion. Pray tell, what was the cause of your duel with Sir Este? I can see why you're concerned, Inquisitor. Este called me a heretic, and I couldn't just let it slip, but I assure you, the arrogant fools in Seoul have no basics whatsoever. I am an adherent of the new faith. Patriarch Luke can confirm my words, but Este was an uncompromising old believer, and an impetuous one at that. He dare call me a heretic, for which he had to pay with his life. A shadow of enmity clouds Jean's face. I have nothing more to tell you. I suppose we can end our conversation here. The nobleman is about to rise. Sit. I beg your pardon? I told you to sit. You will leave when I said so. What insolence! You have no reason to detain me here, and no right to give me orders. I command you to release me. As long as we have doubts about your innocence, you will remain in this room. I told you everything. I don't see any point in discussing this further. After half an hour of fruitless attempts to continue interrogation, the three of you leave the room to take counsel. He's guilty, and he's lying. I'm certain that he's not telling the whole truth. If he is a heretic, a duel would be a fine way to get rid of a man who could accuse him. But we have no proof of his guilt. We will have to let him go. No, retribution is inevitable. If we let even one heretic go, we would appear weak. We cannot allow him to believe that he can renounce his noble lot while still retaining the privilege granted by the nobility. He will spend the night in the dungeons. Tomorrow, I will use enhanced interrogation techniques to extract the truth from him. As you leave the Inquisition war, you meet Father by the gate. He seems agitated. We need to talk, son. Let's take a little stroll, shall we? You walk silently in the twilight for several minutes before Father starts talking. I came here to warn you, Alexandros. That El Corvio fellow you detained, you clearly have no idea of the wrath this could bring down upon you. Alan El Corvio is a figure of immense power in the Eterna's court. He used to be the Emperor's head of security, no less. The news of his arrest by the Inquisition has already reached Magister El Barman. Through him, it will reach Archduke Middlenis and Overseer Gaius Tempest. Oh my god! You thank Father and contemplate the situation. Tomorrow the wrath of the nobility could be unleashed upon you. If you do not have solid proof that El Corvio is guilty, it might be wiser to let him go. But would Ulrich agree to that? No, he will not. Fabricate evidence. We need scheming 12. Oh, it's scheming. We're absolutely not. Manufactured evidence would be enough to break Corvio of his noble patronage. And it will put us in Inquisitor power 10. So poor Ulrich. Tolerance of fate -2, Inquisitor powers -1, Church -1. That is a lot of minus stats. You will not let El Corvio go until you're sure he's innocent. Okay. Diplomacy 14. You know what? Who needs eloquence when we have diplomacy and other stuff? Willpower, Father Ulrich. There is no direct evidence proving El Corvio's guilt, and torturing will aggravate the local nobles. -5 willpower. Father Ulrich's too, so we will be able to. Jean will not be happy with this, but... Alright, let's just lose 1 Inquisitor power and gain 1 diplomacy. Let the nobleman go. The next morning you enter the cell in which Ulrich is selecting the tools for the incoming interrogation. Inquisitor Alexandros, I wasn't expecting you this early. You tell Ulrich that you spent the night conducting an investigation of your own. You question the nobles who witnessed the duel and talk to Father Leonard. Both the nobles and the clergyman confirm Corvia's story. An enhanced interrogation will get you nothing. It will only turn the nobility of Anisodia against the Inquisition. Ulrich pishes the bridge of his nose. Have it your way, Brother Alexandros. I trust you. But if we release a heretic today, it will be on your head. When the disgruntled Corvia leaves the ward of the city magister himself, Remy Berman greets him at the gate. He is a man of advanced years. His face bears the sharp, proud features so common among the old aristocracy. Good day, Sir Corvio. Pray forgive us for this dreadful misunderstanding. The Inquisition in our province is highly vigilant, and sometimes it comes at the price of a certain degree of inconvenience. I hope you will make an example of the order and punish them for this audacity. The nobleman gets into his carriage. The magister takes a step towards Ulrich. You should be more careful, Ulrich. You were lucky to have released him now. If you have waited just a little longer, I would have been able to help you. There can be no more blunders of this sort. This man is free only because he was proven innocent. The Inquisitor serves the twins. There can be no greater power over us. Soon the entire city knows about Corvia's arrest and release. In noble circles, people start suggesting that supporting the Inquisition might be dangerous. Still, if Ulrich had tortured such an influenced person, the blow to your reputation could have been much more devastating. A few days later, Jean bursts into your room without knocking. You just let him go. What? I know everything, Alexandros. I checked you never talked to the nobles of Leonard. You just tricked Ulrich into letting El Corvio go. I won't turn you into Ulrich. I dread to imagine what he would do to you if he discovered this lie. But you should remember the law of the younger. Retribution is inevitable. You reply with silence. Jean waits a while, then lets a disappointed sigh and closes the door behind her. That was the best option, guys. That was literally the best option. Willpower, diplomacy. The Guns of Illyria. Magra has received alarming news from the neighbor province of Illyria. The lowborn convents toiling in the Lyrian mines have revolted against the noble master. For the first time in many long peaceful years, commoners have taken up arms. Worse yet, the insurgents had guns and gunpowder, and no one knows how they got them. Gunpowder weapons were banned through the Empire as soon as they were invented. The lords deemed firearms dishonorable and unfit for the nobles. Even Legion officers are forbidden from using them. But now gunshots were echoed through the mutinous Illyrian mines. The Imperial Legion was deployed to quell the riot. The legionaries slaughtered the rebels without mercy, and the rising shocked the dead on his own blood before it had even begun. The site of Illyria is now a forest of gallows. The combat scores were left swaying in the wind as a warning to any commoner who might dare to take up arms. Although the rebellion quickly succumbed to the imperial military slaughter, many legion soldiers and officers were slain by the insurgents. Firearms. Their steel arms was no match for bullets. The rioters' weapons were destroyed in a public ceremony, but no one knows who built or smuggled them into the mines. All imperial overseers soon issue public reminders in the province. The punishment for owning a gunpowder weapon is true death by execution. But the Empire is still restless, still anxious. Somehow guns found their way into commoners' hands, if only for a short time. Could gunpowder and lead one day endanger the old ways of the Empire? Absolutely. Authorities of Magra fear that unrest may soon spill over here. Due to the double tax, peasants' farms and industrial manufactories are facing harsh times. The province well is steadily declining, but the discount of the commoners still held by the eternal law that demands they accept their suffering. Alright guys, give me a second. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Sorry guys, should have paused the stream, but I had to just check something real quick outside. Miracles and wonders. You have not have any serious cases in the investigation of Father's Land or Print Shop and the Latari Society. The only matter that current warrants in the Inquisition's presence in the province is the ongoing struggle between the Old Faith and the New Faith. Did Apollyoner lie to you about Patriarch Cassius' heresy? There is a knock at the door. Father Ulrich has left the province for now, so all petitioners are coming to you. You set your thoughts aside and focus your gaze on the visitor. A middle-aged nobleman enters your office. His jacket is decorated with large Shion beads. He states his names, Car El Capo, and claims to have run a fall of magic. Okay. Sir El Capo owns a village by the name of Gracinia. The harvests there are abundant, and all plants and trees take root with amazing success. The village claims it is a blessing from the twins, but Sir El Capo thinks otherwise. The nobleman claims that Sister Arabelia, the village priestess, is a witch. People have seen plants and trees blossom and bear fruit at her touch. Here in barren Magra, with his lifeless soil. A pious man, Sir El Capo does not want to shelter a witch who corrupts his property with her ungodly sorcery and feeds his cursed fruit to this man. You carefully ride down to drain the nobleman every war, then leave for Gracinia at once, escorted by a squad of champions. Even from the high road, the village is striking. The trees, the grass, the flower beds, it's all green. Only nobles can afford such luxury in Anisode, and they import fertile soil for their gardens at great expense. You grew among greenery, but your family garden had nothing this green and lush. You come to a hall next to a small, well-tended little house. A tall, slender young woman dressed in black as soap comes from to greet you. This can only be Sister Aurelia. She looks at you, her eyes the brightest shade of emerald green. Greetings, Inquisitor. Please come in. As unexpected as your visit must be, the young woman shows no fears whatsoever. You tell the champions of Faith to remain outside for now. Aurelia takes you to the backyard of her home, a beautiful birding garden. So, Inquisitor Alexandros, have you come to proclaim the miracle? What? What miracle? Aurelia smiles. She gestures to the flowers and trees growing all around. Why, just look, it's a miracle. A vast garden has appeared here, all thanks to our hard work and prayers to the twins. There's no garden like anywhere else in Magra, except for those with imported soil. I prayed for this ever since I was a little girl. It all started when I prayed for my mother's flowers not to die, and as soon as I touched the soil, with a prayer on my lips, it became soft and the flowers grew strong. I've been doing it all my life. I just pray, touch the air, and the soil lives again. This is why I became a priest. I wanted to use my gift from the twins for the good of the people. I went to Patriarch Cassius, and he guided me towards the priestly lot, and sent me back home from to Gratina, and now our life here has become truly wondrous. Thank the twins. I knew you'll come. I just knew it. Who else should proclaim these miracles from the twins, if not the Inquisition? Aurelia whispers a prayer to the heavens and touches a green stalk. It responds to her, touched with little bud. A moment later, a beautiful flower unfurls to greet you. The greed turns to you. There is great expectation in her eyes, and sparks of burning green. You try your best to let her down gentle. This wonder is different from the miracles worked by the twins. In fact, it's the opposite. It is the opposite. The young woman's power comes from heretic magic, a distortion of the law of creation, a knack of adorant to the twins. The priestess' face expressed confusion and terror. How can you say such a thing? My power comes from the twins. I know it. I serve them. I bring their blessing into this war. I was guided to the priest a lot by Patriarch Cassius himself. Yeah, Patriarch Cassius is a liar, but we'll see what our options are. He couldn't have been mistaken. He never lied to me like that. Oh yeah, this is on Cassius, man. You are not yet ready to say why the Patriarch would do this, but as for Aurelia herself, she must be colored and sent to the House of Humility. Where all wishes and where all wishes and mages of the Empire belong. There she will be stripped of her lot and her free will, to serve the Empire and his people as an instrument of the Church. Yeah, that's so fucked up. The priest is shocked. She cannot move. Tears begin to stream down her cheeks. No, you can't do this. How? Nothing will grow in Gracina without me. This village, she will die. And my entire garden along with it. The young woman falls to her knees, weeping. She folds her arms across her chest and begins to mutter. You can barely distinguish her words between her sobs and tears, but eventually you realize that she's praying. Although she believed herself to be a holy woman, Arabella was in fact transgressing against the divine law. She must be punished, so say the younger. And yes, she was devoted her powers to a good cause, utterly unaware that what she was doing was wrong. However, there is another question. Why would Cassius allow her to use magic in the name of the twins? It could not have been a mistake. The Patriarch intentionally set her of this heretic path. But why would he commit such sacrilege? To what end? Perhaps Father Leonard's report was not found after all. The time for pondering is at end. You must act. A rebellious fate is in your hand. Alright, let's see. We could subdue Arabella. Ariadella. You will deliver her to the Inquisition to be stripped of her lot and free will. This will give more Inquisitor power, less fate. It will give us eloquence. Finally! Anything else that will give us eloquence? But proclaim the occurrence of the miracle of the twins. This will give us less Inquisitor power. This will give Will of Magra, theology and manipulation. Or have Aurelia executed. Nah, you will deliver her to Inquisition to be stripped of her lot and her free will. At least that way. How much do we need to save her? We need Alias to join that troop. Jean. Okay, so if Jean is 2 friendship, we could still save her. But Alias join the troop and scheming 10. And by saving Aurelia, you get 2 well, scheming 1, and Inquisitor power -1. Alright. We need eloquence, I'm sorry. We also need the eloquence. So you will be stripped. You look far away from Aurelia, who's praying at your feet. You shout for the defenders of the faith to arrest this woman. You lock the silver collar on her neck yourself. It will prevent her from casting her fiendish spells. Once the collar's in place, her eyes grow dim. Back in Anisota, you send Aurelia to the dungeons of the Inquisition and instruct your subordinates to interrogate her without mercy. The morning after, Patriarch Cassius comes to the Inquisition war in person with Cyril Capun in Tau. The nobleman is terrifying, claiming he mistook a miracle of the twins for magic. He begs you to undo his mistake, set the priestess free, and punish him severely for his false accusation. But the accusation proved to be true. You explained to him Aurelia's miracles were in fact works of magic, and now she must be sent to the House of Humility, as all mages must be. Patriarch Cassius walks up to you from behind the nobleman. After Cyril Capu visited you yesterday, the twins led him to me. I know Sister Aurelia well, which is why I'm here to speak on her behalf. This young woman is a kind, timid soul with a pious and loving heart. To call her a vessel of magic is unthinkable to me. This must be a terrible mistake, I'm sure of it. You shake your head. The other's absolutely certain about the nature of her twin cursed powers, which the good Patriarch has overlooked. She was treated to the people of Gracina and the entire empire. Cassius' face rose rims, but he regains his composure. When he replies, his voice sounds as calm as ever. I never have any concerns about Sister Aurelia. Neither did any of the priestess in Magra. Your accusation sounds defiant, but I have no choice but to accept your judgment. However, Gracina has been left without guidance. Their priest is gone, a righteous, pious youth who lived for her faith in the twins. You ought to consider this. The patriarch walks away without saying a goodbye. El Capo hurries after him. You have to visit the village of Gracina once again in order to preach to the villagers. You explained that the magic that had stepped into their soul would soon be gone, just as all magic must vanish when confronted by tender will of the twins. The village parish will receive a new priest who will take good care of them. The people grow calm again and you leave Rosinia. The scorching Magra wine bids you farewell by hurting the scribe yellow leaves by your back. My god, finally we hit 12. And then hopefully we get more eloquence now. Our eloquence is so low, honestly. The precision of the tree. A holiday is coming. A day when the entire empire thanks the twins for the silver tree. The signs they left behind is a reminder of the eternal present in this war. This momentous occasion is especially important for Anisote, but the clergy cannot agree on how to best to celebrate it. Father Leonard has called for all worshippers of the twins to approach the temple of the silver tree and kneel before the sacred relic, but the old clergy backs at the idea of Leonard and the new believers leading the ritual. The day has come. An immense crowd is moving in a procession towards the temple near the silver tree where Father Leonard awaits. But an inquisitor by the name of Jean stands in their way. She strikes a defiant pose. Confronted by a member of the Holy Order of the Inquisition, the procession readily stops. People, turn back. Those who attend Leonard's rite will succumb to the new fate. Those who reject the lots will defy their divine design. You are about to bring the wrath of the gods down upon us all. Open your eyes. Go back to your homes and pray to the twins. The procession wants to move, but the people are confused, until Father Leonard himself walks out the temple to meet Jean face to face. People of Anisote, no one has the right to deny your sacred ritual of worshipping at the tree, not even the Inquisitor. Is such a denial not more likely to provoke the wrath of the twins? The Inquisitor must know that the new fate does not seek challenge to defy the twins. We are merely trying to correct the mistake of those who came before us. We do not anger the twins. We merely vex those who refuse to accept the dawn of a new age. Jean finds herself between a rock and a hard place. Seeing that she has no other choice, she lets the procession pass. The new phase numbers have swelled of late. It cannot be stopped now. Yeah, the new phase definitely gaining some power. The Festival of the Silver Tree. Alright, give me a minute, guys. We've been recording for quite a bit, but we're almost at the end. We're about to end. Today is an important holiday. The entire empire is celebrating the Festival of the Silver Tree, which commemorates the parting gifts of the twin gods. The divine sapling they plant in our mortal war in the middle of Anisote. The families of the city spend the day in peace and quietly contemplating the divine roots they join all together all people, their bloodlines and the entire empire. Mother always oversees this holiday. The day before the festival, she seems to have shaken off her usual apathy and engaged in the preparation with excitement. It was as though her illness has loosened his grip. Mother gathers the entire family for the holiday meal. Father is in high spirits today, sharing jokes with you and Nathan. Stefan is trying to suppress an atypical agitated. Gloria is the last to join you at the table. She is wearing new breeches with high stocking and a yellow vest. Gloria, you're wearing men's clothes again? No, Mother, I'm wearing clothes women are forbidden to wear. Father gives Gloria a stern look. Stefan rolls his eyes but says nothing. Suddenly Nathan speaks up. A few days ago in the market, I saw a grocer dressed as Overseer Gaius Tempest. He had a huge carrot for a scepter. He got a sound drubbing, of course, but until then, he was quite a hood. Everybody laughs at the ridiculous story, relieved. Even Gloria has a smile on her face when she sits down. The feast commences. Your home finally feels warm for a moment. It wasn't so long ago the four of you could ever reach to this table. The first word you say, Gloria, was give me. Nathan used to cling to my skirt all the time, almost steering it. And you, Alexandros, you couldn't talk all yet, but your piercing stare was so expressive. It felt as if you were talking to me. Mother looks at Stefan and suddenly grows quietly. When I met Stefan, he was already 3 years old. He was so serious and a smooth talker to boot. I remember that he had a music teacher, but he was too shy to pray in front of me, so I used to listen from the next room. Stefan's face twitches. Your elder brother rises and moves to the old harpsichord. His fingers fly gracefully over the keys. A melody fills the house, melancholy and sweet. The last note lingers in the air. The silence falls. The family's awestruck. Words fails you all. Who wrote that? Who wrote that? A nobleman from the capital, between drinking a glass of wine and beating a servant? Your sister cutting remarks puts an end to the warm, cozy atmosphere. Stefan calmly turns to face her. No, it was I who composed this piece of music. It is called Mother. Mother rises to her feet. She would have needed help to do this just recently, but now she treats insistently towards Stefan and draws him close. Stefan puts his arms around his stepmother's waist, then detaches himself awkwardly. May the twin God bless you, Lydia. Gloria considers these scenes with thinly veiled fury in her eyes. Of course, high-born nobles like Stefan are made for the arts. They're the only ones lucky enough to have a soul and experience inspiration. Unlike us, the lowborn, we aren't supposed to feel anything but suffering, let alone expressing poetry. Everyone noticed that Gloria's clenching pages filled with writing her poems. Your sister casts a mournful gaze at the family, and her eyes rest on you. Alright, let's see. You persuade the family that Gloria has the right to read her poems. Gloria doesn't really like us. Unity -1. Stefan -1. Gloria +1. Interrupt. Your sister is not to indulge in this versification. Unity -1. Gloria -1. Stefan +1. So, appeal to Mother. Lydia Brante 3 out of 5. Let Mother calm Gloria down. We will lose friendship with Gloria, but we get unity. And manipulation. Let Mother calm Gloria down. Instead of I don't want to lose unity. This is probably the safest choice. You walk up to Mother, take her arm in yours and whisper in her ear. It is time for her to interfere and say the family celebration. Mother knows understandingly. Gloria, my dear child, since you were little, I taught you to care for your soul. But if I failed to convince you, please think about the family that took us in. I implore you, do not take on noble activities. Do not infringe upon the divine order. Gloria's face flashes red with fury. She grasps the pages in her chest. That's right, Mother. Since I was little, you think I'm not reminded of it with every breath I take, for all the things I'm forbidden to do because I'm lowborn? My dear girl, listen to me. There is more to life than you and your aspirations. You are a member of the Brante family, and our family is part of a greater universe. Your actions affect us all of us. We are not isolated. We are being watched by the city, by the twin gods themselves. So I'm not allowed to bear your name, but I still have to bear all the responsibilities that come with it. What hypocrisy! I do feel bad for Gloria, guys. I'll be honest, real life, like reputation sucks ass, and I do feel like her pain because like not being able to create arcs would be like so much freaking suffering. Gloria runs up the room, and narration tearful. The family's left and found. Finally, Stefan speaks. But at the same time, a lot of the choices that Gloria or Stefan do always ruin unity with me. I don't know why. They're always fighting with each other left and right, and I'm trying to maintain the family together. I hope, Lydia, that you can still make her see reason. Your words were wise. Let us heed them ourselves. The celebration continues despite Gloria's absence. Alright. Alright, we're halfway. The Emperor's heir's in danger. News from the capital quickly reached every corner of the Empire. Jarian and Flavius, the heirs to the throne, have left the Emperor's palace for the province of Monia, which is ruled by the Great Chancellor Agarius Monroe. I hate Agarius Monroe. The Great Chancellor has accused the Emperor's court of harboring malefactors, conspiring against the Imperial heirs. This is why he has offered them shelter and safety in his own impregnable citadel. The common people are particularly worried by the news. They take it as a sign that the Chancellor is seeking to solidify his powers by holding the heirs hostile. If this continues, Monroes could coerce the Emperor into revoking the Imperial law, thus depriving the common stay of any and all rights. And all hope for reform in the Empire has vanished from farmer to rich industrialism. The commoners are growing desperate. In your province, the authorities are trying their best to put the people at ease. The Magister of Anisode makes a speech from his balcony to the exiled crowd below. Trust in your emperor, good people. The Imperial heirs are the future of the great Tempest dynasty. The Emperor has made the wise decision to send them far away from the scheming court. Great Chancellor Monroe will take good care of them and keep them safe. All glory to the Empire. All glory to the Tempest. The Emperor's heirs are in danger. And we have a lot of... we're getting really poor in Magra. Okay, perfect. Chapter peacetime ensues. Examine the possible chapter endings. Let's check which way you're headed to achieve the goals you are chosen. You'll have to meet all of his conditions at the end of the chapter. Alright, so we won this. Shadow of the Will. We won this. I'm working hard for this. Alright, we could also try to... Cassius faces the tribunal. That could also be fine. We do need to find evidence against Cassius. We cannot overthrow Cassius, but we can judge him on a tribunal. We could probably do all-powerful Ulrich, Torch of the New Fate, so we cannot do a lot of the New Fate stuff. Okay, we're not gonna do the chapter though. We're not gonna do the chapter. Alright, let's see our stats. Reputation 6, well 4. Well could be better, but it's fine. Unity 8, yeah, that's fine too. Alright, so let's see our friendships with people. Have we met anyone new? Alright, so I guess I guess that we did meet this too. I don't know how. Alright, young nobleman of the sword, heir to an old and powerful Magran dynasty, received his education at the Imperial College. Archduke of Magra, supreme lord in the province of your birth, known for being obstinate and despotic, notorious even among the Arcane. I don't remember, we did read Father Ulrich though, before. We did read Ailis, we read Gaius Tempest. Patriarch Cassius, Patriarch of Magra, and a known opponent of the New Faith. Since Father Cassius assumed the Patriarch after Fotis' death, he has become respected by the clergy and beloved by the old believers. And at the next sacred conclave, his re-election as Patriarch is but assured. Alright. David Agaroni, squad captain of the Champions of Faith, noble warriors to serve the Inquisition, a zealous old believer. Wealthy and powerful industrialist bases in Anisote, led representative of the common state in the Magran Lesser Quorum. Seeking to protect the rights of the common folk, he nevertheless acts carefully and in moderation. Assured negotiation in matters of governance, he is always one step ahead of his opposition. Father Leonard, abbot of the Temple of the Silver Tree. A new believer, he offers guidance to his flock and provides aid to the poor. Many worshippers seek Leonard's temple, hoping to find peace and tranquility in his company. Yeah, Father Leonard's a good guy. You promised the abbot that you would defend the new faith. Yes. We're doing our best, but we're not gonna make it. All right, Tomas. All right, let's check our friendships real quick, and then we're gonna end it after that. -1, 1, 5. Yeah, nice. -3. Jesus. 5. Stefan. Yeah, okay, so let's see our friends. Tomas is like really high too. Sophia hates us completely. We don't care. Like, we don't care for Sophia much. Like, Agustin he likes us a bit. She remembers us, but like, we don't really care for Octavia. She hasn't done much for us. Jean believes in the old faith, grew stronger, and so did her determination to cleanse the war. Jean is nice. She's not as messed up as Father Ulrich, but she still believes on the old faith, which is like a nice compromise. Father Leonard is all good, Ulrich's all evil, and Jean is neutral. Darius Sutton doesn't care for us. Ulrich freaking adores us. Jose doesn't matter, don't matter. Alright, so Father Leonard also really loves us. Like, he's a really nice guy. And we have very good news. The game didn't crash. So that's awesome. Let's change with the main menu. Alright guys, like we recorded for a good solid 3 hours, and we got to half of the chapter, so I think that we're gonna end it here. And if you guys like this series, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. I cannot keep saying it. And if you guys have a channel that you would like me to subscribe, please do let me know. Like, please let me know in your comments. Also, if you have subscribed, and I will write a big thank you. And I will write a big thank you personally from my own end, because at the end of the day, guys, it's like, as far as we're all together, that's all that matters. Thank you, Adventurers, so much for watching this. I hope that you enjoy the series. We're gonna be doing the second part later on of chapter 4, and if we get lucky, we're also going to like do chapter 5 at the end. We're gonna have 2 more parts at the most, but yeah, if you guys let me know how you've been enjoying the series and the Path of the Priestess lot. I really love it, and a lot has been happening. So yes, I will talk to you guys next time. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next time. Thank you.